City Department of Education, and that's in shambles right now. Please don't do that here.
Your members of the board, I'm writing, and I'm here as a concerned parent of the Norwegian school community. Voicing our conversations and proposed products that are looking to support. As a parent of children who have been actively involved in music at school, I have witnessed firsthand the impact of music education has had on confidence, creativity, and sense of connection. Since programs are not extra, they are essential to a whole child education. Music provides students with more than just notes and rhythms. It teaches them perseverance, collaboration, emotional expression, and problem solving. For some, it's a source of joy and self-discovery. For others, it's where they find love and purpose. We understand that lives are tough, but removing music from the curriculum is not an answer. Our children have the opportunity to grow in all dimensions, not those that have academically or consistently, and emotionally too. Please do everything in your power to protect and restore the elementary music education across Norwalk Public Schools. We're counting on your leadership to prioritize success for all our students. Thank you for your time, consideration, and personal time. Yeah. I want to represent a community that I was here as much, and I want to say this is Spanish. Estoy hablando nada de preocupada de la actividad escolar de Awaken, dedicada a la ciudad de Norwalk, para expresar mi firme oposición a los reportes propuestos para el programa de música de la. Como madre de niños que han participado activamente en la música de la escuela, he sido testigo del impacto positivo que la educación musical ha tenido en su constante de actividad. Estos programas no son extra, son esenciales para la educación. La música ofrece a nuestros estudiantes mucho más que otras actividades. Les enseña perseverancia, colaboración, expresión, emocional y resolución de problemas. Para algunos es una fuente de alegría y autodescubrimiento. Para otros es donde encuentran pertenencia y propósito. Entendemos que el presupuesto es limitado, pero eliminar la música del currículum no es una solución. Nuestros hijos merecen la oportunidad de desarrollarse en todas las dimensiones, no solo académicamente, artísticamente y emocionalmente. Les pedimos, por favor, que hagan todo lo posible para proteger y restaurar el uso musical en las escuelas de Norwalk. Confiamos en su liderazgo para priorizar lo que es mejor para todos los estudiantes. Gracias por su tiempo y consideración.
Afternoon, Garcia, Jeff Williams, Amanda Robbins, Sarah Alexander. Mr. Garcia, please note your name and address, please.
Sure, Mr. Garcia. 29 Ferris Avenue here in Norwalk. All right, thank you all for being here. My name is Luis Garcia. I am the Silver Line PTA president. The Silver Line community continues to demonstrate a daily pledge to our school's vision of providing each student with an opportunity to learn, grow, develop, and succeed academically and as future bilingual leaders of the world. This vision cannot take shape without the leadership, staff, and teachers of our school. Every educator in our building is in our student success, every single one. Our school year started with teachers being transitioned in and out of the classroom, which created difficulties for our entire building. Again, as the PTA president, I was there and I saw it go down. It disrupted our children, making it more challenging to establish consistent routines for their school day. We have demonstrated as a school that we can be flexible and persevere to challenges, evolve new spaces, adapt to changes, and navigating these growing pains. We strengthen our strong flock and continue to support our school's ongoing goal of creating bilingual leaders of the world. We must also honor the integrity of the dual language pathway. Teachers who are native Spanish speakers who understand the linguistic structure of the language and are actively pursuing their certification should not be risky or replaced by teachers from traditional monolingual pathways to other schools. These educators are not only the program ability to also serve as cultural and historical anchors for our students. Silverline has shown consistent growth in student data over the past 3 years. This includes improvements in academic achievement, biliteracy development, and student engagement. Our commitment to language acquisition is visible not only in our classrooms, but also in how we engage families in the broader community. Our partnership with the principal, school leadership, teachers, and the entire staff is stronger and stronger each day, and it's built on trust and commitment. We continue to receive requests from other districts. Most recently, Stanford Public Schools, the Norwalk Public School graduate begins to paint the portrait on the first day of kindergarten. They're the babies of the NPS and deserve to grow in a school environment that is rooted in teacher consistency and grounded in academic excellence. This does not work unless the building personnel are maintained. Our swans and our children of NPS deserve to walk into the schools and know that those same faces will be there day after day, year after year. We are asking you to review the budget and stand by your commitment to the Board of Education mission to create a student-focused culture that motivates, challenges, and
Thank you
supports.
for wrapping it up.
We must choose to prioritize what matters the most, our children. And not continue to try to handle the role that is important, and the always have to make it, they're in together.
To speak the name and your address.
What is your address?
It's all right.
We're like on the ratings, you know, won't get this first. For me, my wife, this is my first time doing this process, but she's doing a couple roundtables that all, you know, so that's 5 or 6. These types of events, so the gentleman said, if you haven't been here, it's not sure. Real laptop transparency. So when it comes to these meetings, a lot of the whole decisions that we made, with what seems to need to be low input from parents, how these decisions were made. We have these sorts of discussions that are very reactive, emotionally charged, and it's not surprising because we get information last minute and no time to really understand what goes behind it. So I won't get quickly off the road cold case, for those who are regular with that. It's everything out of the street computer chips. It's a hurdle tough for the industry. We have customers who nagging or relentless. They push us for the impossible, and we deliver that to them, they push for more. But we are also widely successful because of 3 things. 1, we listen to our customer needs. 2, we commit to them. And 3, we deliver almost everything. We are your customers. Setting up a couple of roundtables, asking what parents would like, and reviewing having unlimited funds is not listening to our needs. This is a fantasy. Having a vision and mission statement is important. However, if it doesn't reflect the needs of your customers, it is bound to fail. Moving forward,
We need a better process to gather feedback from the families on what their needs are, what their priorities are, what our priorities are. And what your abilities can be to meet those needs. And lastly, we need you to deliver on those commitments. Because remember, the customer is always right.
Next, Amanda Robbins, Sarah Alexander, Lori Callen, John Richardson. Amanda Robbins, Lex.
You're right. On the back of the thing, it's like the foot of the back.
Your papers are this time, so you have not been following the order, so that is right up here. You need to make sure that it's right. Amanda Robbins, South Miss Florida. Not regular. I know there's another 6,000. No, I don't want to. Sorry. I'm just being experiment. So if I can take you to sheet, if I can tell you who's on around the sheet, okay, you're disorganized. Words get words. I don't care about that. I need to talk to you about fairness. What does that happen? I don't want to speak. I want the person who is supposed to be to speak. I repeat.
I won't remember. I find it disturbingly strange how we promote critical thinking and then eliminate programs that should have ended it. Representative Rachel Larson. Been my music teacher for 6 years, since I was in second grade. To put that into perspective, by midway through 7th grade, I was younger for 2,192 days. I intend to prolong and strengthen this bond that I've made with them, as many others have, further. She's brought culture, joy, laughter, and real learning of music. All in all, she's giving me a new perspective on it. I never realized how much music meant to me until she came along. Without her, CMS is not home. This is a bold choice. Cutting music is a bold choice. This is not cutting a budget, this is cutting teachers. I find it hard to wrap my head around the accomplishment. None of this is Ms. Carson's fault. None of this is any of the staff's fault. I'll adapt this into an analogy. Those having trouble making sense of all the highs and lows are mentioned. What is being done to our schools can be said equivalent to removing the engine of the car to make it lighter. Michelle Obama once said that art is not a luxury. It is essential. Who's to argue with that? I feel like in the past 6 months, we've learned a lot about people who don't want to or are too blind to realize what they're doing is wrong. But we are better than that. We are better than that. We believe it, but the excuses.
And then you go to roll, progress, this big line. Cassie, go ahead.
My name is Cassie Long. I'm 6th grade at CMS. Big part of my life since 2nd grade. That's when I met Miss Carson. Miss Carson helped me find my voice. She made sure every student feels the spotlight on stage or off. Some students aren't at performance time, but it still feels good to be in her class with the groups of hip hop, or even just to learn what style of music is her favorite. Maria von Trapp said, music acts like magic key, which most tightly closed parts open. Without the wonderful Miss Carson, our school music would not be possible, and in turn, it would not have met so many amazing people through my home. Youngest students went up to me in the halls and say, "Hello, Dragon." Also, with her help, I was able to write and perform my own song. Ms. Carson spent countless hours this year building relationships with CMS students, and she's not just needs to be moved around. Thank you for remembering that music is outburst of the soul.
My name is Guillermo Rojas, but I am the next one. I teach band, elementary, middle, and modern day, the new addition that we introduced at Norwalk Public. I'm a first generation American of Costa Rican heritage, raised in a single parent household and a proud graduate of Norwalk Public Schools. Growing up, I always in the city. I was often one of the only Hispanic students in my classes and even changed my name to Will in school just to avoid ridicule. Music provided me a sense of belonging, identity, and a belief in my ability to make a difference. Norwalk shaped who I am. I'm a proud graduate of NHS class 2011, where I marched under the name of Jeffrey Smith. A man who, a teacher, inspired me to much communication. I graduated from Western State University in 2015. I came home to give back to my community in that way, that easy. Mr. Smith fought for more than music. He fought for student identity and opportunity and voice. I know he would stand by his cuts, and that's why I am. In 2018, I helped launch the world's first CPI leadership and program alongside two economists, Liz Lockhart and Anthony Glass. I just spent everything by being over 130 of greatest man this year. The following year, that number climbed to 150. Even through the pandemic and after, enrollments remained steady. Proof of how much these programs and that's our community. Why are they being cut? In 2004, neuroscientist Dr. Eric Newson found that early childhood is the sensitive period when the brain is the most open to learning. The 2013 Journal of Neuroscience study titled Early Musical Training and White Matter Plasticity in the Corpus Callosum. Evidence for a sensitive period confirmed that children who begin music before age 7 develop stronger brain connectivity and coordination than those who start later. Early access to music doesn't just shape musicians. It strengthens learning, memory, and development in ways that last a lifetime. For the most part, are things to the redesign of the layouts of experienced educators like Rachel Garza. Concord Jones, a teacher who in just 1 year has helped shape our music program is remarkable. Engaged with our families and training for students, and she recorded her first musical strategy and wrote record ticket sales. This is not me struggling, this is dismantling. It is important that teachers remain in their schools so they can continue to build these lifelong relationships with students to help support them and grow them as well musicians. Norwalk sport bar programs have long been a point of pride, but they didn't get here by accident. They were built with care by educators just like Lee Jefferson. If we want our students to thrive, we must protect the teachers, the programs that all help them discover who they are and who they can become. Thank you.
I'm speaking on behalf of my current forming elementary students at Norwalk, Merrimack, and those big grade arts. Yeah. The elementary program is being eliminated. Of course, I'm concerned about my job, but more importantly, I believe that our advanced students are losing important foundations of music education. I've been a Norwalk resident, again, since the beginning of the pilot band program in 2018. I've been working with Ryan Band's marching band since arriving in Connecticut, and I also started working with the Norwalk marching band this past season. This has given me a unique view of our students. I started many of them at Merrimack and Movement, and I now continue to teach these students in high school. It's amazing to have teenage students grow from young beginners, the talented high school musicians that they have now become. My students in Merrimack and Movement are immersed in the music through our district curriculum and are learning the foundation of music. They're learning the basics of playing and fingering on their instruments. At the elementary level, we are also fostering the love of music in our children. Not every child will be the next musical star, but in a band, students learn teamwork, responsibility, and many of them find a place to belong. We have students who are in the ELL program who also identify as special ed students. They may struggle with expressing themselves in their general music classes or general ed classes, but when they're in music class, they are speaking the universal language of music. It is also a for our students. Our second years help beginners with notes and parts, and our beginners that help from their sections in rhythm and tone progression. As a former student of this district, music was always a safe haven for me. I learned to play at Wolfhead. I played with I was a proud member of the Norwalk marching band, graduated with honors. Jeffrey Smith was my private instructor and a dear friend. If it wasn't for him, I never would have come back from teaching band for 20 years in the state of Delaware. Come here and start this program. Music was essential to project in Norwalk and helped me become the educator that I am today. Rumors that the grant is yet innocent. There might be a possibility of saving the elementary program. I desperately hope so. Norwalk is always been a leader in music education. Please keep it that way for the sake of our students. Thank you.
I am the proud parent of 3 children in Concord Magnet School. I am also proud of my local schools. I never imagined I would have to be such a loud advocate for my children's education. I assumed the people sitting before me had their best interests at heart. I have been part of our local school until 2038. I can all of that if you are elected to do that, you are failing our children. These parts of poor leadership in a private sector, if you could not see in your budget, would no longer have a job. We want to see you home consideration dates and no plan for worrying. You just hope and assume the city will give you more money. We need to seriously dive into and see where we allocate our funds for our school system with a fine-tooth comb. I'm sure we can in the herb in other places. And I know it's not on the agenda tonight, but please don't know what the extension of the superintendent's contract. District 4, East Harlem, we started with 27 schools. At the end of her rating, they closed Local 10, PS 15, Kilo Marco Antonio, Cornerstone Academy for Social Action Middle School, and the Coalition High School, leaving them with only 23. She has the record of the highest turnover of teachers and administration in the same district. Norwalk is not the buildings of capital construction. Please help us build our schools that the Norwalk students deserve. Emily, what's the last name? Diaz? Yeah. Ball. Emily Ball. You got a mix.
I am thinking players that and I love whooping all the students. Our teachers and staff are the best. We all an old school and all at this company of music, strings, band, and dance teachers. How does that make sense? You are taking away the intimate oaths from our school. So now will we just be moved to elementary? How am I a teacher and vice principal? Going to school and not seeing them next year is not okay. I am young, but my voice can still. They make me want to work hard and try my best. They believe in me and make me feel special and important. They have helped me and so many other students without confidence. Hope it would be so lonely without them. Mr. Conway put together a special flyer. What happens to that? You can do that. You should want to do better to fix this. If I could, I would. All teachers work hard and deserve to keep their jobs that will fit. Thank you for your time and have a great day. Hello, my name is civically and I am a proud 5th grade student at Norwalk Integrated Art School. They are family. We need these teachers. They are a big role at our school. Our gym teacher has been there for 20 years. He has to keep going and don't stop until I achieve my goal. My dance teacher taught me that if I fall down, to get right back up, and that is the right thing to do. Mr. Armitage and Mr. Varela always encourage me to keep doing my best. We need that. Don't do this to our school. I implore you to do the right thing. This is for Norwalk. This is for Wolfman. This is for our community.
Good evening, community and Board of Education members. My name is Anna Molly and I live at 12 Cider Lane. I'm a parent of 2 kids who attend Wolfman Integrated Art School, where they are thriving. I'm also a substitute teacher there, which I love because I get to be with our amazing student body every day, along with our incredibly committed, driven, and hardworking staff. I'm here today along with so many other residents to speak in support of our extremely dedicated teachers and administrators, who many of you have a job or a different job in the next few weeks. I also speak in support of our arts, band, and strings program, which inspires our kids on so many levels, but that you are all so quick to agree to cut because you didn't get the money you asked from the city. I'm also here today to speak in support of our children, the ones that have built trusting relationships with our teachers, the ones who come to school excited for music class, and who are eager to play and learn an instrument, and for some that being the highlight of their day. The ones who are ultimately going to suffer from your incapability to work together and manage our funds appropriately. I've been following this budget process for the past 6 months, coming to meetings and speaking, going to Common Council and BET meetings, and I have to say my only takeaway is that the very people that we elected to be in your positions do not know how to work together to solve problems, plain and simple. I'm exhausted by the consistent talk of this board talking about the need for more funds and not getting enough from the city, and the city saying we have given you the funds and it's up to the BOE to spend it wisely. My question is, what are we doing with the money? We need more transparency on where our dollars are being spent. It's becoming more and more difficult to separate the rumors and what is actually happening. We need greater accountability and transparency from the board. Our trust is in you. We have a top-heavy central office. Are those jobs being prioritized over our teachers who make as much in comparison? Cutting this many teachers' jobs is going to create a very damaging setback, one that I don't think we'll ever recover from. I wouldn't be surprised if more of our teachers leave this district, because why should we go through another year wondering if they're going to be on the chopping block next year? We are already facing a teacher shortage recently. Who will want to work in our district after this mess? I can go on and on about this, and I'm exhausted, but I still won't give up. Our children mean everything to us. Maybe it's time for a change. Perhaps our new mayor can unify all city departments and bring about the change our school system needs. We need to know our elected BOE is actually listening to us and working for the benefit of our children. I'm asking that the BOE listen to the words that you are hearing tonight and act on behalf of the parents of Norwalk. While we are still resolving this crisis, it's not the time to discuss contract extensions. It's time to discuss how city departments will work together to provide our children with the education that they deserve. Thank you for your time.
Andrea Gaetano, 20 Murray Street, proud parent of a 4th grader at Wolf in Elkins. I want to thank each and every one of you. In my 5.5 years as a Norwalk resident, I've never seen the city so united. And our unity stands in opposition to giving. We all said the same thing. A 9.7% increase. As a taxpayer, that number's appalling. The fact you have the ball to ask for in this straight face is mind-boggling. Enough of the finger pointing, it should be pointed inward. You are all to blame, not the teachers, not the students, the blame lies squarely at you. The Board of Education is a body of elected officials tasked with are being grossly mismanaged. Who, if not you, is supposed to ask the difficult questions? You work for us. When we tighten the belt buckle and trim the fat, we don't start with music. Norwalk has a rich musical history. The idea of cutting bands and strings at the elementary level is not just short-sighted, it's shameful. You're taking away opportunities from kids who may never otherwise get to touch an instrument or learn from a gifted teacher. How is that equitable? How are our children supposed to compete with neighboring districts when you're stripping away the very programs that give them a chance? Information received from a FOIA request shows where tax dollars are actually going. Crescendo, a grading for equity program which I quote, unlike traditional grading, grades based only on a student's understanding of course content, thereby making grades fair, end quote. Tax dollars going to Paul Forbes to talk about equity, or to Ed Fergus to consult on equity, or to the Human Services Council where a current BOE member sits on staff as a director. These are funded by the superintendent's discretionary spending contracts, our tax dollars. That's what you cut, not teachers, not opportunities. You know what real equity looks like music for all, bands and strings across the district. So let's start by reallocating that money to save as many positions as possible. That's the kind of fact you turn from a budget. So based on actual performance and not equity grading, I give you all an F. And in the real world, when you get an F, you don't get promoted. So that means no contract extension for sure. Many of us are here tonight are ready to step into these board seats if needed to ensure that our kids get the education they deserve. I hope and pray our elected officials find money to fully fund our schools to avoid the chaos you're proposing, and won't put along your decimating our staff and our administration. We want and demand that our team remain intact. This team, which makes Wolfit, despite its crumbling infrastructure, that will slow after elementary school in the district. That's a testament to all eyes are on you. We plan on holding each and every one of you accountable. Because we can't do this again, and we won't do this again. Our children deserve that.
Let's be mindful and respectful, everybody, thank you.
I'm a mom, I'm a special education educator, and a lover and supporter of the arts since I was a child. I'm broken at the news and the decisions that are being made. I grew up with very little, my pride just was like, I grew up with very little, but my home heart was always full of music and theater. The arts filled voids, the empty spaces that have the potential to stay with the person for a lifetime. Teachers, teachers like Mrs. Schneider and Miss Aston Solely taught me so much more than how to be notes and how to harmonize. They taught me patience, compassion, empathy, and perseverance. They created a community and provided a safe space. What they taught in their music rooms carried over to every other class. They pushed us towards realistic perfection while accepting failure with grace. 33 years after I stepped on stage as Pepper and Annie in the second grade, I still remember the feelings that came along with it and the wonderful memories and all the years that followed. And the friendship I still have to this day. I look at my daughter, and the best time I really thought she's ever had. And what I thought was because I know loving music will be tainted and poorly managed even more original fights. 30 years from now, when many of us will be retired or trying to, we're going to look at our country and our community and at the adults that are making those decisions, the adults that are in our elementary schools right now. And we're going to want to question their decisions and ask why. Why do they have a hard time working collectively for the greater good? Why do they lack patience and compassion with the aging population? Why do they struggle with problems that require patience and perseverance? Are they hypothetical? Of course. And I can only speak from personal experience. But I know that these traits that I have now come from these teachers and lessons that taught me 30 years ago. As a person who works in special education, in a classroom that some of you may be familiar with, I help little kids who can't speak, they can't Norwalk. We help them be the best person that they can be, and using music and using therapy, we're helping them find the words that they may not have. I believe that those who decide to let us need to double check their numbers and allocations, maybe even old school math, and algebra math. And we can have this.
Ms. George, you have 30 seconds.
Okay. You know, the children will suffer from now long term, and the children will become adults and will make these decisions. Fight for them now and show that we didn't give up. So in 30 years, they will fight and they won't give up. I also hope that this is the time to show a united front as parents and as educators. That this is not a political ploy or a hidden agenda. That this is because a lesson that we don't want to be teaching our children.
Mr. James Doolin, please say your name and address after Mr. Doolin. Amy Burrell, Lauren DeLory, Zoe. What's the name?
I'm Amy Young, but I have a name. I am particularly music teachers. Hundreds of students love playing their instruments and are inspired from their music, who love what they do. When trying to take one music teachers, this will help budget cuts, who will not make school any better. It will make school a less friendly environment with kids who don't want to come to school. And that's a problem. And so many music teachers love their job and love what they do. And at school, we have an amazing music orchestra teacher. Thank you to all music teachers, but especially all music teachers, Ms. Weaver, who's graduating Mr. Larry.
James Howard Drive. I moved to Norwalk 4 days before my youngest son was born, about 6 years ago. My wife and I moved here to raise our family because that was the promise of Norwalk. We started out at Norwalk Early Childhood Center, and now my oldest is finishing his first year at Norwalk Elementary. His teachers and his school counselor, the administrators, have treated my son with kindness and respect. They have been there for him and our family through the difficulties of navigating IEPs and the ever-expanding learning goals, learning how to be a member of an elementary school population. By removing the support systems and the arts education fundamental to a well-rounded education, you are removing the reason for young families to take up residence here. You are deciding that Norwalk should be a place where children graduate and move away from, rather than a place for further generations to return to. I've spent my over 11 years in education, starting out as a middle school teacher in math and social studies. I have first-hand knowledge of how teacher and administration layoffs can create an environment for higher and higher teacher turnover. If you want talented teachers in our schools, you need to create and protect an environment in which teachers can grow expertise and their careers. One where we don't overcrowd the classrooms and remove the resources that support our homeroom teachers. These steps the steps that are taken right now ensure a brain drain from our community in both the form of teachers and young people that we are raising. If you want to lose the community we have in our building, continue down this path.
Lauren DeLory, Zoe Simonides.
I'm assuming you mean Lauren Long. Yes. Thank you. Lauren Long, 17 Roosevelt Street. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Lauren Long. I'm here tonight to speak as a union leader. For the past 2 years, I've had the honor of serving as an art teacher at Norwalk High School. But my conviction is this runs in the deeper. I'm a proud product of Norwalk Public Schools, graduating from Norwalk High in 1999. My journey began in an artistically talented program in elementary school, thanks to the advocacy of Mrs. Diane Gould. That foundation continued at West Rocks under Mr. Timothy Clark and flourished at Norwalk High with Miss Mary Women. stand before you as living proof that the arts matter, that creative thought transforms lives. The arts have been my sanctuary, my voice, and my strength. They have taught me to critically think and to believe in myself. Now, as a teacher, I witness the same transformation in my students every day. Former graduates like Lorena Sperlaza work alongside me, and over the years, I have received countless notes from students thanking me for helping them find their identity in art. I share this not for praise, but as urgent evidence. Cutting these programs will devastate our students. Before these harmful cuts, our Department of 7 served over 700 students annually. Now, 240 students will lose access to classes that foster creativity, critical thinking, and self-expression. These cuts risk robbing someone of their passion, their purpose, or even their lifeline. I understand the need for fiscal responsibility, but a budget must prioritize the foundation of education, just as a family in crisis prioritizes safety, sustenance, and shelter. For our students, safety lies in the hands of administrators, support staff, and mental health professionals. Sustenance comes from our educators who nourish minds and hearts. Shelter is our schools themselves. Everything else is secondary. When students walk through our doors, they're searching for belonging, and the arts is often where they find it. Leadership may claim to support the arts, but actions speak louder than words. I urge you to reconsider these cuts. Ask yourselves, are we balancing the budget on the backs of students? Are we sacrificing programs that are not just enriching, but essential? Our children deserve better. They deserve a budget that reflects their needs, their potential, and their futures. Thank you.
In IT. I don't like being right on top of it. No.
I'm not sure if any of you had the opportunity to attend the first production of Shark Jr. that happened just a couple of weeks ago.
Not as much as you did.
I love the costumes show, and I was lucky enough to spend lots
I
of
bet you did.
just magic that occurred between the students and the faculty. The faculty have worked tirelessly to create a show so genuine and joyful. This number was led by Rachel Carson, our amazing Rachel's dedication, talent, and clear love for her profession are evident. My son, like so many kids in our school and in our district, thrives in music and theater, and this person is one of his most trusted adults. I have seen Ms. Carson work far outside of her contract hours for the sake of our children. She leads with integrity, with heart, and with competence. She is an asset to CMS and to this district, and to lose her would be completely devastating. Today we learned that our school counselor, Lindsay Franklin, would also be losing her job. Again, she is one of the adults at CMS whose constant care and support have helped my son to not just get through his days, but to thrive. Mrs. Franklin goes above and beyond for her students and for the families that rely on her support for their kids. She is an essential part of our school. How can we possibly remove mental health supports from our kids if the world is great? We stand to do so much more to smell these cuts. I want to believe that all of you have the very best intentions for our children, and that their success is a top importance to you. But for me, decisions to cut music instruction and mental health support show a serious difference in our values and priorities. And our children will pay the price for these decisions. I fully understand that this budget crisis has been decades in the I know that all of you requested more funding. It is exhausting as parents and constituents to continually need to beg and it's hard to make the time of and to be as vigilant as we need to be to try to keep up with things that we insert past us. It breeds distrust. Separating fact from opinion or rumor is nearly impossible. Transparency and clear communication with the public needs improvement, and the public turnout and mood here tonight knows that news. Right now, I'm asking you to reconsider these budget funds, to reevaluate, and find a solution that does not involve reducing our music or mental health support. I'm also advocating for the use of the rainy day fund to meet these needs. Our kids need and deserve robust, comprehensive music education and consistent, top-tier mental health support.
Thank you.
First, I would like to acknowledge the individuals who dedicate their time and work hard to provide a structure for our children's education. A healthy education system benefits the entire community. However, tonight we are here because the system is broken. One where our children are being deprived of basic educational services. Quality educators, many who live in our city, are losing their jobs after years of service. This is a result of poor financial planning and overspending. This crisis was entirely avoidable. How did we get here today? It's all tied together, folks. Everything comes into the big picture. Norwalk schools are severely underfunded by the state. First off, the Board of Education lacks basic fundamental oversight. Our local administration has failed to increase city revenue to keep up with the rising costs. Norwalk really has a plan to fix these problems. The DOE proposed 9.7%. Increase, budget increase, however, only 4% was awarded. Tax revenues are necessary to fund this budget. The current administration has relied on apartment complex development to grow that revenue. However, the city will not recognize the real tax revenue for years because of the current tax benefits of development. This model is working and it isn't funding our schools. Residents are already facing double-digit tax increases relying solely on the shoulders of residential property owners is not a sustainable plan. Drawing down from the rainy day fund is a temporary solution. But enough about how we got here. Enough about how we got here. What do we do to change the course before the start of school? I propose we immediately assemble an ad hoc financial and educational committee. One comprised of financial advisors, union representatives, and educators from all schools. This committee will be the missing checks and balances of our operating budget. We must reevaluate and reduce non-structural administrative expenses. The budget should prioritize and protect essential in-school roles, teachers, special education staff, music educators, paraprofessionals, school nurses, those people working directly with our students. Each staff is responsible for our principals, teachers, and staff are second to none. And we should have schools that reflect that. They're second to none, and our school system should reflect that. Let's demand transparency, accountability, and a real plan. Together we'll move forward and do better for our children and our community.
That's fine, go ahead and take your 3 minutes. State your name and address, please.
Lisa Henderson, Apple Tree Lane. I'm a Norwalk Public School alumni student, parent, and city taxpayer. I've stood here too many times begging for money for slash programs. The same as all of you. Listening to previous speakers, I've regretted what I have to say. I want to say that failing school system where too many children are failing reading and math, and we have a crisis situation. But you know, I wanted to say, wasteful spending is out of control in the city. You know that too. And wanted to talk about double-digit tax increases coming in July being unsustainable to taxpayers. You know that. I wanted to say our state senator, Bob Duff, has failed us too. With ECS funds, we get pennies on the dollar that we send to Hartford. Do you know that? My message to all of you in this room is, if you vote for any of this Board of Ed, city administration, or long-term council members in the upcoming election or future elections, you deserve what you get. You will continue this year after year. And you'll be here year after year. I still am. Get involved, run for Board of Ed or a council seat. This meeting will be forgotten. And if you haven't joined the Facebook page, State of Norwalk's Neighborhood, do so, where you'll find facts and figures of the years of wasteful spending in our city. We have a crisis situation in Norwalk. Get involved.
I'm part of the FT and I teach at Norwalk High School, or at least I did, thank you. And the budget is hard, but anyone who raised a family knows this. When money's tight, you protect what matters most. You keep the food, the shelter, and the safety, and you cut extras. In our schools, teachers are the food nourish our students intellectually, emotionally, every single day. Support staff and building administrators are the safety. They hold everything together. The school buildings, the shelters, these are support challenges in their but instead of protecting our foundation by fighting, laying off of 60 educators while areas that don't directly serve students are growing or untouched. The very people students rely on are being removed, even though we have proposed responsible ways to save money without harming students. We want to put in many budget discussions. We offered solutions, many solutions, and we were ignored. This isn't just a financial issue. The money's there. It's a moral one. If we continue down this path, we won't just positions lost. We'll be just community in the heart of our schools. Please stop these layoffs, reconsider the budget, protect the people who make school a place for students to grow.
Much sympathy for your story of growth. Good evening. I'm here to not just as a lifelong Norwalk of 56 years of helping, but as someone who was heartbroken and frankly disgusted by how this has been handled. Teachers, dedicated educators, were notified that they'd be losing their jobs. Not only that, but they were instructed not to tell anyone, told to keep it under wraps. Why? Was it to ensure that the agenda would quietly pass without public opposition? To push it through without parents, students, and taxpayers having a chance to speak out? Because I've been here long enough to remember how these moments used to play out when music was on the chopping block in the past. It was made public. It was brought into the light, and the community showed up just like we're showing up tonight. To fight for something that matters deeply, our music programs and the many students that they serve. And let's be honest, once you dismantle a program like this, it's not coming back. Not the same way, and not with the same heart. Dr. Straya, to ask for 12% increases is not only egregious, but more simply, not reasonable, and needed only as a result of mismanagement. Mr. Mayor, you've accomplished a lot during your tenure. But now you have a choice. You can quietly step down and let this happen under your watch, or you can stand up right now for our children, our teachers, and one of the crown jewels of this city is amazing music programs. I ask you, please, leave behind not just a record of accomplishments, but a legacy, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
So not Mandy, you said dancing?
No, no, no.
being very patiently and are very nervous, and I'd love to let them
So I have a sheet that's before yours that has Lisa Henderson on top, so maybe Lisa Henderson? I'm looking at the sheet that you said that had Benjamin on the bottom, right? I see that. The person who's on top of that sheet is Lisa.
She may have already completed the first.
What about Mary Orton? Is Mary here? Yeah, Justice Orton.
Mary Orton, 9 Mont Avenue. The general membership of the Norwalk Federation of Teachers has voted unanimously to issue this statement expressing confidence in the leadership of Dr. Challenges of leading a diverse district. Dr. Straya's decision-making has consistently prioritized optics over substance, image and data collection over the real needs of students, educators, and school communities. Teaching and learning relationships. And under Dr. Straya's leadership, we've seen constant staffing changes, a top-down inspection of governance,
and experiment to educators who see disrespected, micromanaged, overworked, underpaid.
These conditions are unsustainable and have led to an over 10%.
Let's be respectful, please. Thank you.
Thank you. These conditions are unsustainable and have led to an over 10% turnover year to year in certified staff. Our salaries are not competitive. The district's budget under Dr. Straya has failed to prioritize students in school buildings. Funding directed towards expensive, questionable initiatives, including a agency more focused on image building and public engagement. Her absence during the Norwalk High School's NEAS accreditation visit, a key opportunity for leadership visibility, surprised educators and evaluators, and reinforced disengagement from the district's core academic work. Programs like International Baccalaureate and the
School system may have pulled out, but they are possible and are taught away from programs that serve all students.
The board, educators show up every day with professionalism and dedication. In return, we have seen little accountability, little transparency, and no commitment to collaboration. This is not the leadership Norwalk deserves. NFT members stand united in demanding leadership that is collaborative, ethical, and student-centered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Applying to study for Richards Avenue, and asked to read this from Senator Doug. I'm writing this letter to voice my support for a sensible Norwalk Public Schools budget, one that does not lay off teachers or eliminate music or arts. While I am unable to join you for tonight's rally, please know that you have my full support. As an avid music and art supporter my entire life, I do not agree with these proposed cuts. They are and unnecessary. I'm convinced that the money exists as a Board of Ed budget to fund our teachers and the music and arts programs. As a proud Norwalk Public School graduate, I started playing strings at Martin Elementary School in 3rd grade. We didn't have band then. I played both in band and strings at Nathan Middle School and was in the marching band at Norwalk High School. As a parent, both of my kids went through the music program in elementary, middle, and high school. Personally, I believe music has provided me with higher, which has helped me propel me to the position I am in today. Having strong programs in music and the arts are crucial to enhancing our city's cultural landscape and academic reputation. For context, the fiscal year that we are in now, Norwalk Public Schools has seen a 17.7% increase in the state education operating funds, ECS, and including a special city grant from the state I fought for. That's not including the supplemental $821,000 in state special education funds we voted on in March. Investments such as these ensure that programs like the ones we are fighting for tonight continue to thrive and inspire future generations of students. At this very moment, the state senate is debating and will vote tonight on a new state budget. That document will have additional funding for Norwalk. I'll report specific numbers shortly, but what I can share is that I've been working very hard since the beginning of the legislative session in January to maximize even more resources for the city I love. Thank you for speaking up tonight and fighting for what makes our community special. Sincerely, Senator Bob Duff, Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you. Please state your name.
Hi, I'm Laura at 13 Foxborough Drive. I'm a principal here at Norwalk High, as well as I'm president of the Administrators Association called NASA. And we lost 12 staff members. And you know what? Only 50% of my juniors were at benchmark or exceeded benchmark on the SAT. And only 25% were at benchmark, my juniors, or exceeded benchmark on the SAT in math. So obviously, we have some district issues when it comes to reading and math. But I'm not here to talk about Norwalk High. I'm here to say that NASA has clear contract language for reduction in force. Our contract is being violated because the superintendent is refusing to follow the RIF contractual language. The superintendent, with the district's lawyer and the HR director, has presented a document that violates the contractual language. The district is refusing to place names of NASA members with low seniority on the bumping list because the superintendent believes these persons have special professional development, which excludes them from being bumped. That is false. As a result of the superintendent's denial to place these persons on the bump list, then we will file a grievance as a protection of its members. NPS is broke. Rome is burning, or maybe it has burned down already, and we are now putting the embers out with blankets. I don't even know why it is necessary that the district spends funds on lawyers to represent the district in the RIF process. That process can be managed by NASA and HR. Follow the contract. No one wants to bump anyone. It's not personal. It is contractual. When there are NASA vacant positions, then NASA will employees granted these positions. In addition, the superintendent has seemingly become involved in the NASA election process and other NASA business, a matter to which we will respond at another time and in a different manner than speaking here tonight. There are more important things to get done for the students in this district than to be involved in petty politics. Follow the NASA contract. Thank you for that.
consider the most beautiful person staying in school. All teachers need to cut in Norwalk Public Schools. I grew up to be as a kid, and I would say I was one of the most shy and quietest kids in my group. But here I am in 5th grade speaking at a board meeting to sing one of my most favorite things in school, music. I would honestly say part of my hero I can speak up for this person, and music is because of this person. She taught us how to use our voice. She put on an amazing production of Shrek Junior the Musical. Now music is wherever we go. We all bonded with this person in all the best ways. She did so much behind the scenes work for us, and this person is so committed to us at CMS. And I think it's just the way we are integrated and hospital. I know everyone at CMS has made so many integrated memories in this person. She walks through I really would like to speak tonight because this person believes in me. So with that being said, I know we can fight to sing this tomorrow. So especially with every other person. Thank you for tuning in.
Sophia Perez, Alexa Perez, Jasmine Smith Tyson. Yes.
I don't need a mic, my music teacher 30 years ago. Across the board are devastated for all of our Norwalk children. For years, Norwalk has worked very hard to put our school system on par with neighboring towns. We are in this position due to mismanagement of funds. Higher taxes and less in our schools makes no sense. My children are very young, and I want to continue believing in Norwalk Public Schools, but these cuts are extremely concerning, as we're going to be losing equity with our neighboring towns. The schools around us have access to so many programs, and our children will not be able to compete without being provided all of the same advantages. Music and the arts is crucial for our children's education and well-being. It is scientifically proven that when children are exposed to the arts, their test scores improve dramatically. Cutting the arts put our children at a disadvantage and will hinder their intellectual and creative development. I want to give a big shout out to all of the CMS kids for speaking and all of the students in Norwalk for speaking. It's impressive. CMS has always been an amazing community that fosters individuality and creativity while keeping up with a rigorous integrated curriculum. As a parent group, we are urging the Board of Ed and Central Office not to reconcile the budget until these positions can be reinstated, and there should be no movement on salaries until these programs are fully funded. As I just started my Norwalk Public School journey, I will continue to do my research and learn more about the process, so you can expect to be seeing and hearing from me a lot. Maybe I'll take Chairman Carpio's suggestion and look into running for the board.
Please say your name and address. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophia Perez, and I raised out of Norwalk. I'm in 5th grade, and I'm in a shelter. You have to be in 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade in the shelter. This course now, music teacher, made the plan with help of Mr. Rojas, Ms. Perez, and a bunch of other help. Ms. Carson worked hard for this play. She stayed overnight working on props. We were so proud and looking forward to the next play. But without Ms. Carson, we can't have a play. So please keep our music program and our awesome music teachers. 2 classes. I have many why Carson should stay, but for now I only listen to William. She's funny, kind, really pretty, lots of really good things for CMS. One of them is the Shrek play. I really love the Shrek play because it was like, the performance was really good, and I think that was all because of Ms. Carson. She taught them how to sing, and the Shadowlands really spoke up, and I really loved watching it. Thanks to Ms. Carson, the Shrek play was really, really good. So please don't get rid of Ms. Carson. If you do, it's basically taking CMS out. And I don't want her to leave.
Donna Spellman, Tammy Coleman Malkin, and Jessica Flores.
Hello, my name is Mr. Matt. I'm at 13 Strike. I'm a senior at Norwalk High School. I will be graduating this year. And in September, I will be going to college. I'm disgusted by what I've seen tonight. When I complete my degree, if this city continues to go down this path, I have no intention of moving back here. I've spent 4 years as a part of the Norwalk High School program, a program that has been littered with accolades since we rebuilt it from the ground up after the pandemic. And frankly, I think that it is appalling that the board thinks that it is a good idea to cut the foundation of our award-winning arts program. When I'm asked what I think makes Norwalk, it is our artistic legacy, as evidenced by the beautiful building that we are standing in right now. I've been told on several occasions by many of my friends that theater and arts saved their lives, which is why I say, with no uncertainty, that if these cuts go forward, children will lose their lives through suicide and unpreventable deaths as a result of this board's actions. Additionally, I'm disgusted that this has been entirely preventable. Our city has an $84 million rainy day fund, a fraction of which would be able to cover the costs needed to keep our staff members on for a prolonged period until we can sort out this crisis. Additionally, I do not think that the superintendent's contract should be extended, as what I've seen is mismanaged our funds. Additionally, I speak to the board members now. I ask you, if you have a heart or a spine, you vote no on this budget. I speak to the mayor and say that in your last days, before you step down, that you allocate funds from the rainy day fund so that way the school district can continue to fund the arts and all the other programs that this board has proposed cutting. And finally, to the teachers in the room, I understand, I learned last year, that your contract says that you're not allowed to strike. And seeing that your contract has been violated tonight, I see no reason to honor that contract.
Good evening, my name is Maria Mislinski. I live at 27 Capitol Avenue. I am a proud mom of 2 4th graders at Wolf Pit and Trinity Park. They both are in band. In 4th grade, they are both in strings and they're both participating in musical theater, and their confidence has grown. I had something to write, but I'm just gonna wing it here. So first of all, I just feel that nothing makes sense here. I mean, we have higher taxes, yet our kids are getting less. We have things like the parent center that we're wasting money on, but we cannot provide the needed staff for our kids. Just at Wolf Pit, I learned that at some of the elementary schools, we're only sense. We have a superintendent that is trying to extend her program and get a raise. Make this make sense. When I looked up on Google, what are the performance parameters for a superintendent of schools? Tell me if any of these meet standards. Improve academic outcomes for students. That is a no. As Dr. Moore showed, the test scores are not higher. Effectively managing the district's finances. That's a definite no. Provide strong leadership and support to the staff. Again, as Mary Gordon pointed out, that's also a no. Engage in the community and build positive relationships. I can tell you all that is a no. Exactly. Ensure the efficient and effective operation of the school district. That is a hell to the no. And finally, act with integrity and professionalism. Again, that's a no. So tell me, why are we voting to accept the contract when we cannot even take care of our kids in the city? And what does our city value? Do we value kids or not? Where do you want to invest your money? This is disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach that we even have to be up here to fight for our kids for basic needs.
My name is Benjamin Correa, and my address is Norwalk. I think we're all wondering the same thing. Why? Is it greed causing this money? Well, whatever you think, I think it's all of the above. And that makes me sad because all the movies, cartoons, the famous plays, they all want to be formed by the people that you want to take away or get rid of. The music program in our school creates the actors and musicians, and I want to thank Ms. Carson for starting a lot of people's careers. I played Pinocchio in the Shrek Junior music program. And I never knew I could have done something this great if Miss Carson was not around. And you can help future actors and musicians of Norwalk by continuing to pay for programs, and I believe that we can make a better place for everyone. Now who's with me? You love with me. I have a joke. It's about the Board of Education. Not forget the other joke.
I'm Jackson Buckley, and I'm in Norwalk. Okay, so I have a lot of music about I think that music is one of the most important things to learn about and have. Music is beneficial for physical, mental, and emotional learning, acting as a source of relaxation, pain relief, and puts me in a better mood. Music has helped me relax and calm down in many instances. That's why I want music. I've been in the first school play recently, and that was an amazing experience, and that would not have been possible without Ms. Carson. And we are also losing our mental health program teacher, Ms. Lindsay. And as a student, talking about my feelings to someone I can trust is super important to me. I feel like talking to this teacher is a great experience to share my feelings, and it will only make students have a more challenging time focusing on our education.
My name is Donna Spillman, and I live at 24 Pheasant Lane. My three children, now all in their 20s, attended the Norwalk Public Schools. So parents, we don't go away. 2 went K through 12, but 1 that Norwalk actually would have been able to meet his needs. Our daughters had a wonderful experience, and I'm happy to say that all 3 kids are doing really, really well. But what I do need to tell you is that despite the challenges that he had, what kept him going was his K through 5 years, because he had incredible art, music, social workers, and people who really cared about him. In fact, he went on to college, he studied music, and he's a professional musician today. He's never forgotten what he got from his Norwalk Public Schools teacher, and he's a Norwalk guy. Sorry. What's going on, every cut, everything that everybody today has mentioned is a travesty. The loss of even one frontline person, one educator, is a travesty, because that one person is not going to be here to make a difference in the life of a child who really, really, really needs it. The kids don't know, nor do they care, who's in central office, but I can promise you, they know who's in the classroom. They know who's in their school. Because people like me, who are Norwalk community members, it still matters. It matters today, it will matter tomorrow, and it will matter to all these people in 10 years, and 20 years, and 30 years from now. They're not going to remember you, but they're going to remember their teachers.
Hello, so I was on page 1 after this evening, so I'm just gonna go ahead and talk now. My name is Gabriela Perez. I'm a senior in Norwalk High School, and I won't be stating my address because none of my concerns are why I'm here tonight. The board is doing its duty to protect students, teachers, and the integrity of public education. Prioritizing politics, curse, and PR over classrooms is not leadership, it's neglect. Parents, teachers, and union leaders have proposed reasonable cost-saving alternatives, cutting consultant contracts, travel, and inflated administrative spending, but these have been ignored. Instead, the district is cutting core programs like music, art, and student support. While the mayor offered to fund music positions, the superintendent refused, and while Norwalk received an 18% state funding increase plus $800K in special education funds, the district is still slashing jobs. Families are pulling their kids out from schools and teachers are leaving. At the same time, Australia received 12% raise, bringing her compensation to over $500,000, including bonuses, a car allowance, retirement perks, and even a taxpayer-funded film crew. None of this is going into classrooms.
Let's remain respectful, please. Thank you. Let us finish.
As I was saying, budget decisions are being made behind closed doors with little explanation to the public. This is no longer about tough choices, it's about accountability. Norwalk deserves leadership that puts students first and not self-promotion. We wouldn't be where we are today without the help from our teachers. Teachers give us hope that one day we will become something, and now you guys are turning it all apart.
Jessica Cordes, please state your name and address. Hi, state your name first.
Lamar Taylor, 60 Quicker Road, RBT at Norwalk High School. All right, I'm going to address the paraeducators. Okay. Good evening to all. How fitting that just 2 months ago I stood with some of you and took pictures with you for Paraeducator Week. We received cookies, treats, and all kinds of praises, yet here we are, year after year, having to justify our very existence in the school system. It is exhausting and it is frankly insulting. But since I know some of you may enjoy a little old school music, allow me to sing you a song of reality. A song that demonstrates why paraeducators are not just valuable, but absolutely essential to the success of our students and the effectiveness of our schools. You see, paraeducators are the glue that holds everything together. How, you ask? When classrooms exceed capacity and teachers struggle to teach every student, who steps in to provide one-on-one or small group support to reinforce learning? The parents. When a student's behavior may become disruptive, who implements behavior intervention strategies, de-escalates situations, and ensures that both the student and their peers can continue learning in a safe environment? The parents. When students with challenges need modifications, adaptive technology, or hands-on guidance to access their curriculum, who bridges that gap between potential and achievement? You got it? You got this on? All right, keep going. The parents. Para-educators are not just assistants, we are educators, mentors, caregivers, translators, behavior specialists, and advocates. We are the ones ensuring that no child is left behind, regardless of their ability or language or circumstance. All right? It is time to stop questioning our world and start investing in the professionals who are shaping the future of our students, one child at a time. Thank you.
You've asked several times tonight for people in the audience to not be disrespectful. Yes. Except it's the people on this stage that have been disrespectful. It's the board that has approved budgets that have not served our children. It's the mayor that has not stood up and done his diligence to make sure that money gets spent the right way. And it's most importantly, you, our superintendent, Mr. Strella. I think that many people in this room probably wish they could say what I'm going to say. The teachers, the principals, they fear retaliation and retribution behind you. I think you should tender your resignation to me. Budget where you cut 60, 70, 80 teachers. You're also asking to approve an additional $1.2 billion in spending. For what? For central office positions. Associate directors. It's on the agenda. Everyone could have seen it, but that wasn't in the public. You want to get your budget approved and push it down everyone's throats. On behalf of everyone here, on behalf of my son, I ask that the mayor terminate Ms. Strella tonight. When her contract comes up, she should no longer be the superintendent here, because I certainly won't support her, and neither will any of the other people in this auditorium.
Nicholas Santiago, state your name and address for the street.
I agree with my mom, and I think Estrella should resign.
My name is Tammy Coleman Malkin. I live at 8 Harley Street. I'm here as a parent of two wonderful boys that attend Mohegan and Rowan, but I'm also here as a proud IPS teacher. We are tired of having to hear that our colleagues' jobs are at risk and our students' livelihood is at risk because someone has mismanaged budget. Teachers don't want a fancy convocation ceremony with overpaid keynote speakers, hundreds of balloons, inflatable screens that don't work, pop-ups and lunchboxes with Members of the Board of Ed, do what you are elected to do, listen to the demands of the parents and teachers here who are telling you enough is enough, be our voice and do what's right. I know cuts must be made, but don't cut the people who directly impact children. If you can avoid it, we want, desire, and deserve leadership that inspires, listens, and sacrifices for the greater good. Put kids first, always.
West Bronx Middle School. I am here today to try and convince you to keep the elementary school band program. And it is ironic because today I received the Excellence in Music Award at West Bronx. And it's all because I got an early start in the performing arts at Cranberry. The elementary school band with Mr. Rojas helped me make new friends. It showed me that school could be fun, and it gave me a lot of self-confidence. Band has always been in an area where I excel the most. I have always been able to express who I am through music. I made a lot of connections with my elementary school band teachers, Mr. Rojas, and my music teacher, Miss Carson, and they encouraged me to continue with band program in middle school and with trying new things overall. As I move on to middle school, I already have learned how to play percussion, so I had the courage to join band. I also joined drama club, where I got the role as Shrek this year. And the reason why the West Bronx band is so large and successful is due to the fact that we have a 6th grade advanced band, which includes experienced band members who came in from the different elementary schools. My 9-year-old brother wants to follow my lead and be able to have the same band experience that I have. But with the news that band is getting cut from elementary school, he will not be able to share in the same experience. He has been talking about playing the trumpet for years and has been so excited to finally learn this year. But now, I'll have to break it to him that playing the trumpet won't be an option until he gets to middle school. I urge you to reconsider your decision to cut the band program from the elementary school. It's necessary for us kids to have this creative outlet, especially when there is so much academic pressure each day. Please save the band program.
I'm very excited to be 8th grade band at West Bronx Middle School. At West Bronx, we plan to offer 3 pathways, one of which is performing arts. That starts in elementary school. By cutting the foundation from this, we have a later start, and our students lack the experience necessary to properly integrate themselves into the program. We need these talents, and without them, we can't operate. Sorry. Not gonna cut it short, sorry.
I'm Andy Singh. I live in South New York, Norwalk. That was my son that sang. And many others here are urging you not to cut the elementary music program from the budget. I understand that you did not receive all the money you asked for from the town council. I understand that you need to make cuts. But I don't understand why you would choose to cut the elementary school band and strings program instead of finding something else. And I urge you to ask these tough questions tonight and to not just rubber stamp the superintendent's reconciliation plan. Please vote no tonight. My oldest, as you just met him, is in 8th grade at West Bronx Middle School. He plays the baritone saxophone in the band and the jazz band. He's really looking forward to playing in the marching band at Norwalk High School next year. But I remember when he was in 4th grade There was also a concern that elementary school band might be cut for a fifth year. I was also making a public comment about it. Fortunately, it wasn't cut, because I'm confident that it had been, that would have been the end of his academic career. After taking that 1 year off interruption and then going to 6th grade, he would have done some other electives, like my husband was already talking about, oh, you could try chorus, or you could try robotics. He would have opted for something else. He would never have gone on to become the talented musician that he is now. Well now, my youngest child is in 4th grade at Cranberry. She plays the cello as well as percussion in the band, and she's looking forward to band and string. She looks forward to her band and string lesson days every week. And the performance opportunities have given her confidence that I've seen grow so much. But again, we're facing the prospect of elementary band and strings being cut, and this being the end of her musical instrument career. Please don't let this happen to our children and our music program that we have come to be so proud of at Little Rock. Please vote no tonight on the current budget reconciliation plan. Thank you. As Cranberry PTO president, I also feel compelled to comment that we are devastated in Cranberry by the thought of potentially losing our current assistant principal, who I understand will likely be bumped out. He was new this year. Frankly, in the last 9 years, we've had 7 different assistant principals. It's appalling. But Mr. Olson is a Cranberry alum himself. I just want to highlight Mr. Olson is a Cranberry alum himself, so he's brought an energy and passion that we all desperately needed. I don't know how I'm going to save him because I understand the realities, but I felt compelled to talk about it. Thank you.
My name is Jason Sandler. I'm 19-year-old Manor. I'm the proud parent of 3 beautiful girls in the Norwalk Public Schools. I have 7 Manor particular events in the last several weeks and months. Removing arts programming from the schools will reverse years of progress and benefit that our students need in order to achieve academic success. The decision to cut teachers and school counselors across the district will have an immensely negative impact on our children's education and well-being. The 2024 Norwalk Youth Survey finally showed an improvement in mental health and reduction in suicide, ideation, and anxiety compared with 2022. A direct result of having school counselors at the elementary level. Continuing these cuts will require school psychologists and social workers who have to deal with an already overwhelming caseload of IEPs and 504s, in addition to now taking on NECC and pre-K students. Who will provide social and emotional support to these students? No one. They will go unnoticed and sent back to overpacked classrooms. I've been flabbergasted these last few years listening to all the budget concerns, finger pointing, lack of transparency, lack of acceptance of responsibility from the superintendent and the board. Yes, use COVID relief funds to create positions that you failed in foresight to future plan to ensure funds were secured to hold those positions. We've been told to reach out to the Common Council to advocate for a full budget increase, which we've done. However, that was a slow screen. They are only permitted to accept, reject, or reduce the mayor's proposed budget. Not once has Dr. Stryker or this board stood up and said that they made mistakes, didn't anticipate funding challenges, and have taken various measures to keep educators' jobs as best as they can. Why is it that last year the teachers union agreed to accept the worst health insurance plan and save the town millions and keep educators' jobs, and yet every hour ahead, see dedicated teachers and support professionals packing up their classrooms and looking for jobs, all while you're adding 6 new central office administrators. The district leader is compensated over $300,000, annual retention bonuses and stipends of over $56,000, $46,000 a year for tax shelter retirement plan, paid for by the Board of Ed and non-paid introduction. Way more than any other educator here, and compensated for what? To see the harm of our children's education. Do not accept this budget and toss teachers away. Finally, I demand that item 40 of tonight's agenda, the board say no to a contract. Remember who you work for, the taxpayers who are paying more in taxes while we want our children to invest in us.
I know many of us are here tonight because we are worried about next year's budget and our needs for our kids. For my family, those concerns started way back at the beginning of this current school year, under this current budget. Our son has an IEP since he was 18 months old. His IEP includes services for both math and reading. At the start of the school year, we received a single parent square message informing us of a staffing shortage in the special education department. We were assured it would be resolved quickly. My husband and I asked again and again what this meant for my son's services. Each time we were told not to worry and that it was being taken care of. 115 days into the school year, only after we hired an advocate out of pocket, we found out that our son had not been receiving his legally required math services for the entire school year. Let me be clear, our son has a diagnosed learning disability given by the school district. He has a legal IEP, a binding contract between our family and the school district. This contract was not honored. We only learned about this because we pushed for answers, we paid for help. No one in the administration told us the only explanation we were given was staffing shortages. Again, under the current budget. Now the team that has supported Harry, our son, is gone for next year because of the new budget cuts. We are seriously considered retaining him due to how far he has fallen behind. The only reason we did not was the extraordinary compassion and dedication of his classroom teacher. So I'm standing here tonight with a few questions. What about those families that don't have the means to hire an advocate to be Did you inform them that their child's IEPs were not legally being met? Why do the teachers and staff who know our children best seem to be unable to speak or give us honest answers because of a gag order? What exactly is your plan for next year's special education budget? Finally, if you think I'm being too loud and too emotional, please understand this is just the beginning. My family will not have our son feel less than because this district has failed to meet its legal responsibility. Also, these kids are incredible. Who can do this? I'm shaking speaking up here, and you come up here and speak to a room full of adults.
Good evening, my name is Lars Blas. I live at 49 Kinshasa. I stand before you today as a proud Norwalk Public Schools alumnus, and I'd like to tell you about some of the incredible teachers you have working in your district, people who regularly went above and beyond for me and my classmates. Anthony News was my orchestra and band teacher. Mr. News used to come in early to school to give me extra double bass lessons. In 4th grade, Mr. News went out of his way to give me garage band tutorials and feedback on an original musical that I was writing. In 5th grade, before the elementary band program even existed, Mr. News not only let me play clarinet with the 6th graders at CMS in their band co-outs, but he again set aside time to work with me on my Norwalk Youth Symphony repertoire. Diana McCammon was my AP statistics teacher in 9th grade at Brian McMahon High School, but in February, she began covering a vacancy in my honors pre-calculus class. I had her every day for an hour and a half. When I made a last-minute decision to take a gap year after graduating McMahon last June, Ms. McCammon was one of the first people to reach out to me. I have had coffee with her on a monthly basis ever since. Andy Pierce was my 3rd grade math teacher, my 4th grade classroom teacher, and my 5th grade young astronauts commander-in-chief. Mr. Pierce arrived at school at 6:30 a.m. and left at 5:30 p.m. every day. I would wake up early so that my father could drop me off at CMS on his way to work, just because I wanted to start the day in room 286 with Mr. Pierce. To this day, Mr. Pierce is the first person I call when I need a reference, when I've read an interesting op-ed, or when I'd like company on a hike with the dogs at Cranberry Park. I chose to speak today because it is the long-term consequences of your decisions that frighten me most. What happens when all these current students are my age? What NPS graduate will be here to defend Norwalk Public Schools and the brilliant teachers when there is little to defend? Without extraordinary teachers like Mr. News, Ms. McCann, Mr. Pierce, and all of the teachers who have come here tonight, I I probably wouldn't have stayed in Norwalk Public Schools. I fear that these annual budget crises and threats to essential programming, complete with termination letters at the end of May, and administrative bloat that robs teachers of their autonomy, I fear that it will simply result in our brilliant educators seeking work elsewhere. Please reconsider your staffing priorities to keep the programs that make Norwalk special. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here to advocate for the instrumental program for elementary school. I have worked as an elementary general music teacher in Norwalk for 31 years until I retired in 2018. As a music teacher, intellectually, I will just say that I've seen the enhancement of cognitive development that playing an instrument at an early age develops. It helps with the hand-eye coordination and fine motor skills. It strengthens brain functions for focus, better memory, attention span. It positively impacts math abilities, fosters teamwork, communication, and social interaction. I cannot tell you how many classroom teachers have come to me when I was teaching music, raving about the impact that music classes have on their students. It nurtures creative expression. It encourages patience and discipline. Learning an instrument also has mental health benefits, but it needs to start early, while the brain is first developing. It is understood that the superintendent advises the board on educational priorities, but it is the board who makes the final decisions as to where the cuts are to be made. Board members are elected officials and fellow Norwalkers who are entrusted with the education of our students. Playing an instrument is an academic endeavor that is chosen by our students and should be an offering in public school. But it needs to be offered at an early age, developing the brain and the skills that I've previously mentioned. Making cuts is always difficult, but the cuts should not impact the quality of education by lowering standards and the opportunities for our children. Norwalk teachers are there for our students, and we trust that the board members will be too. Look elsewhere to cut funds, perhaps an administrative area where it does not directly impact the education of our young students. Thank you.
Please state your name and address. Lisa Britton, 19 Sherwood Park. I'm a parent and oldest of two sons from Brian and Ann, class of 2015 and 2017. Once a senator, always a senator. And as you see as parents, we never really go away. Pretty hard to surpass the energy of the children and students and parents directly involved in what's going on in the school system. But I'm going to try and leave you guys with some sobering thoughts. We're facing double-digit property tax increases, yet we're laying off 100 staff. Something is terribly wrong. I'm going to keep my comments brief because I already posted them online, along with NPS staffing, ECS, and income tax data, which got almost 4,000 views yesterday. It goes without saying I'm disappointed in teacher and pastor cuts, but the board of ed should be digging deeper into a growing administration. However, the phrase that it takes a village applies to the failure of all of our elected and appointed officials in Norwalk to work together to advocate for our city and students and address the growing school budget crisis. I've been involved in budget crises to a greater or lesser degree since 2004. Despite all the development, the mayor, council, and planning and zoning have failed to chart a sustainable planning and zoning path to generate enough revenue to support our schools. We have density without dollars. Having said that, 20 years ago, our poverty and high-need students were around 25%. Today, we're at 70%. Poverty and special education is expensive, which leads me to the state, and by that I mean Bob Duff and our state representatives, who also own this budget crisis. Norwalk has been shortchanged tens of millions each year in ECS funds for over 2 decades. However, the decision of where to cut comes directly from the superintendent and board of ed. I've received dozens of private emails from NPS staff fearful of reprisal of other places which will be less disruptive to cut. Board priorities need to be reset. City, state, and board elected officials need to stop pointing fingers and work together to address this perpetual budget crisis. We need to increase and diversify our revenue sources, maybe a sales tax. But going back to the shrinking well of homeowners in Norwalk is not sustainable for our schools and our students. Thank you very much.
I have a speech prepared, but I have an observation I want to share first. At the Oscars, when your speech is too long, the band plays you off. Guess that won't be happening in Norwalk in future meetings. First of all, let me begin by saying I do not claim to be an education expert, but I've been an accountant for 25 years, and I consider myself very well versed in business and spending, and more importantly, the misuse of funds within an organization. I pride myself on volunteering in my children's schools, and every time I leave Brookside, that's where I come home and I tell my husband, these teachers do not get paid enough. During my 10 years at Brookside, I see more and more responsibility placed on the teachers, and I see a student body that has increasingly higher needs, with the staff selection that is just being squeezed dry. Everything is being cut at every corner for them. I would encourage everybody on this stage to go volunteer in the elementary schools for a few weeks. The main problem I see in Norwalk Public Schools is the fluff. Too much of its money is spent on frivolous items, and when cuts are made, the fluff doesn't get cut. Have anyone consider a private film crew more important than boots on the ground in a school? Is beyond me. Is public relations propaganda more important than helping our students? Because that's what it is. I have heard rumors of conferences in luxury locations being funded by our money. The Family Centre provides no valuable resources and is quite frankly inconvenient for most of the families in Norwalk. Company cars, don't think I really need to say anything there. Academic coaches that don't have any face time with the students. I've yet to meet a teacher that thinks they provide any value to the schools. I believe that we need a deep dive into transactional accounting of Norwalk Public Schools, so we can weed out the unnecessary luxury items that are consistently being used with our budget money. I'm sure you've got 30 seconds. I'm sure you find lots of volunteers, myself included, who would happily go through the books and find places to cut funds. The nepotism needs to end. If you're close friends with the superintendent, and you know who you are, you should not be voting on that extension for the council. They need to do what's right by the children, by the homeowners in Norwalk, and by the teachers. It's a disgrace. I implore you to do the right thing by our schools, and I want to give a shout out to our Brookside crew that got down here today. I know he's looking shaky, and Mr. Herrera, we love you and we will fight for you. I'm not a citizen of the US, but I just freaking apply for citizenship so I can start voting.
I'm standing here because today was supposed to be a really beautiful day at Brookside. And as I was there, our kids were able to enjoy their time and have so much fun. But at the same time, a big crowd came over. While we were outside hanging out with our kids, 2 teachers were eliminated. And I disgusted. It was the most embarrassing thing to have experience in the school, and I have a 14-year-old, and this is the first time that I've ever felt embarrassed to be part of this school. Because how do you show a smile and our assistant principal, who has been the best addition to us, has brought positivity to our school, is also being let go or moved to somewhere else or debunked to something that he should not have because he's the best assistant principal. If anything, he would make the best principal in our school if that and to read what the letter of elimination is because requesting 9.7% increase to operate a budget. How embarrassing. Like, our kids were in a courtyard with 2 teachers who needed them, but were being eliminated at the same time. If those 2 teachers would have they had the option to stay or to go, and they actually stayed because they have a heart for our kids. But at the same time, they were being our kids would have not had anyone there. And as someone who made a sense to me today, there would have been no ratio in the courtyard. Because us parents, we have to go to work. And the teachers that were being there were kind-hearted to stay while they were being eliminated. And I think that you guys really need to consider our kids. And later, like everyone said, when you leave here, I hope that you make the right decision of what is best for us and Norwalk. Just like you are always so proud to cut ribbons everywhere else, make us proud, make this room proud, and everyone else that supports you, we need you at this moment. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicola Bertina, and I live in Norwalk. I go to Wolfman Integrated Arts Elementary School. Our gym teacher, dance teacher, strings teacher, music teacher, band teacher, and our assistant principal are all at risk of having their jobs changed or eliminated. Just take a second to realize that 7 people from my school and at least 70 people in the entire district are at risk. Our dance teacher, Miss Varela, is the best dancer I know, and she is so good at choreographing us at a concert, and she's always over the top. Our gym teacher, Mr. Armitage, is great at teaching gym, and he's always open for a hug. Our strings teacher, Miss Shields, has taught us about instruments, and she is such a good teacher. Our band teacher, Miss Lockhart, takes students individually to learn how to play band instruments, and she's so good at playing them herself. Our music teacher, Mr. Conley, is so good at playing almost every instrument, and he can teach us full songs in just an hour. Our assistant principal, Mr. Santinello, helps organize everything that we do for the school. Just thinking what I just said. All of those amazing teachers will not be here next year. They really make it. And they're more than just teachers. I have had the best experience here at Wolf Pit. Kids next year won't have that. Mr. Elliott, I have a picture with you, and I talked to you how I wanted to be a teacher when I grow up, but I don't want to be that anymore because I don't want to lose my job. Thank you for listening.
I am in 6th grade at Nathan Hill Middle School, and I am a graduate of Wolfman Integrated Arts Elementary School. My dad also attended Wolfman, and my brother is currently in 4th grade. Now, I know all this is about budget cuts, which are way over my head. But for me, and I think when I say this, I can speak for all of Wolfman, it is about community. The teachers whose job it is are more than numbers on a spreadsheet. They are part of what makes Wolfpit such a wonderful community. If you are a student at Wolfpit, almost every day as you arrive, Mr. Conway is outside playing his ukulele, singing a song, and asking you a silly question that there's no real answer to. When you enter Ms. Varela's class, you aren't just going to go into dance. You are going to learn about self-expression and creativity. Ms. Lockhart, the band teacher, teaches us how to read notes and work together with other students as a team to create beautiful music. Mr. Armitage teaches us about respect. Respect for the rules and respect for each other. And Ms. Bella, who is always the kindest, helps us to figure out our feelings and reminds us there is always time to do better.
while not classroom teachers, are just as important to a student's education. You cannot measure their worth in test scores, but you can.
You've got 30 seconds, my friend.
But you can in the thing that I'm doing today. To speak in front of people with confidence and to stand up for what I think is right. Please reconsider putting all of these amazing teachers who are a big part of Wolf's community. Thank you for your time.
My name is Joseph Jericho, 163 Chestnut Hill Road, Norwalk. I'm a 23-year veteran teacher of Norwalk. I'm also the NFT vice president. I'm a parent to a lovely third grader at Cranberry, and also a taxpayer, but I'm here to speak to you as a union official. The Norwalk Board of Education has failed in its duty to reasonably manage the district's finances, a failure now made glaringly obvious by the termination of dozens of teachers due to budget shortfalls. Despite this, the board is inexplicably moving forward with an extension of Dr. Ostraga's contract, an action that sends a troubling message about its priorities. This decision not only highlights the lack of sensitivity to the students, families, and employees in Norwalk. The proposal to get an advanced approval of an employment contract that has not been negotiated is very concerning. It is not acceptable to turn negotiations and execution of this contract over to a single individual without any opportunity to publicly view or comment. After the new contract is negotiated, it should be placed on the agenda and voted publicly by the elected officials whose job it is to employ and oversee a single employee. At a time when teachers are being let go, classrooms are being destabilized, and families are facing uncertainty about the quality of their children's education, this board's move to secure a leadership contract behind closed doors raises serious questions of governance and public trust. Thank you.
My name is Deanna Hansen, and I lived in Norwalk for 10 years with my son in kindergarten at Wolfhead. Unfortunately, it's 2.5 hours past his bedtime, because in this management of this list, it seems to be a common theme. I have come here tonight to advocate for my son and to speak from personal and professional experience. When choosing our first home, my husband and I focused our search in Norwalk because of the vibrant city life it offered and the easy access to New York City. We also targeted Wolfhead District because of the reputation it has in CAP, a wolf pack. We anticipated our son would remain through elementary school, but were undecided a decade ago when we moved here if we wanted our kids to stay through middle and high school. A sentiment I see all the time with my clients, starting their home journey in Norwalk, Stamford, or Danbury, and then upsizing to surrounding towns when their kids reach middle and high school. 2,400 newly built housing units have been planned for our city, bringing young professionals and their economic stimulus here for the same reason that we originally came. But what will happen in the years to come when these young adults that we are targeting in this housing boom decide to start families? Will they choose Norwalk as their home, or will they be deterred from even starting their family lives here because our elementary schools are on the path of building a reputation of being understaffed due to consistent underfunding? Losing 80 children-facing positions in our schools is outrageous and being discussed among Connecticut residents even outside of Norwalk. A city school district is what drives future sustained growth. You don't incentivize young families to stay and upsize within the city. You end up with a population that has little interest in long-term investments that keep a city thriving: schools, parks, public works, and first responders. Who cares about fully funding these areas if they're only going to be living here for a few years? To be underfunding the district in the middle of Norwalk's rebrand and growth initiative is undermining the long-term sustainability of the city and the school district. You have the power to ensure that individuals like me that have already chosen Norwalk as their first home make it their forever home and not just the first stop in their housing journey. At the end of the BET meeting last night, Mayor, it was reiterated that you see the city in good financial shape and will work on finding an equitable solution. I anticipate that solution will be found, seeing that you were just awarded an honor for supporting children. The irony is not lost on me. As reported by Nancy on Norwalk, Bob Duck helped our schools receive money for capital improvements while he is failing to mention that Connecticut is ranked 6th lowest in the country for education funding coming from the state. Questions I am posing today and in November. Why weren't our pleas previously heard? Why didn't the city fund our schools first? Why isn't Connecticut contributing a higher percentage to our diverse school district? As my son would say, he's a member of a PAC. This PAC is prepared to fight.
And I'm a social worker at middle school and a proud parent to students at Recital Elementary. I'm here tonight seeking clarification on some budget items, sharing my concerns and offering possible solutions. On the Norwalk Public Schools website, it's seen that currently 3 schools are going through the IEP authorization process. However, after reviewing the budget, I could not locate how much the district is allocating to fund this authorization process. How much has the district spent this year, and how much is the district anticipating spending next year to continue this process? And does this include additional training that would be required due to the RIFting process? On page 39, the assistant supervisor unintended budget, the wages are increasing from 1.7 million to 2.5 million. What is accounting for this 46% increase? On page 49, we're spending $10.1 million on special education out of district tuition, which is actually a $600,000 decrease from last year. However, next year there's an anticipated $1.3 million increase. Is this due to an increase in tuition or anticipated increase in outplacements? Our current special education administrators have worked tirelessly to bring back students to their least restrictive environments and proactively develop comprehensive IEPs to reduce the number of outplacements and reduce independent evaluations. With the reduction of special education administrators, I anticipate the out-of-district budget to exponentially increase by 1.3 million. We cannot function without our special education administrators. They have an area of expertise that our principals do not uphold. I suggest for decreasing costs, we really think about reduction initiatives instead of reduction in workforce. Would it make sense for the district to put a pause on IEP authorization, school quality review, pause school choice process, and other initiatives instead of reducing personnel? Personally, I would prefer to send my son to a school that has proper staffing and a music program than attending an IEP school with reduced staff. Another area of concern is the amount of students that attend our schools from out of town. Reducing the number of students, if there's 5 students in every building who do not live in Norwalk, we spend around $20,000 per student. So we're spending, if that's in every building, around $2 million on non-resident students. What are our policies and procedures do we implement to reduce non-resident attendance? Lastly, I'd like to propose a way to increase revenue. I've examined surrounding districts' budgets to get ideas. One way they generate additional revenue is by charging tuition at highly discounted rates to district employees for their children to attend Norwalk schools if they do not live in Norwalk. How many students are attending Norwalk as a courtesy? One neighboring town is able to generate $1 million using this strategy. At this time, we do not have the financial luxury to support non-resident students continue with initiatives such as school choice, school quality review, and IEP authorization. We need to save as many positions as possible to ensure our children receive a quality education.
Thank you. Please state your name.
My name is Aurora LeBlanc. I go to school for integrated arts and I'm in 3rd grade. And my problem is why music is being cut. It's a big deal to me for Mr. Conway and Ms. Shields to go because if they do, I won't exactly be having that much fun not only listening to music but being a part of it. This is for the superintendent of my school. Please don't get rid of half of our teachers in Norwalk. It means a lot to me if I could have my music teachers stay. They are my only hope to do good in music next year. Elementary schools are important to success and achievement. I also know that if I don't have my music teachers, I won't have fun playing my violin. So please don't get rid of my music teachers. Sincerely, Aurora. And that is why Board of Education. I'm Laura Blair. I'm a fourth grader at Wolfett Elementary Integrated Arts. I'm here to share this with you to tell you that our school that our teachers deserve to stay. I believe they should go because ever since I started going and learning in their classes, it changed me. Every day I would rehearse the moves we learned in dance, or play the music games we did in strings, or do some drills from gym class. Then I'd go home and show my parents. Just imagine taking all that joy out of every student there is. If there aren't any special left, we'll do tests and math and work and ELA all day. You just took away every kid's fun, and every time you take away a teacher or a special, you take away a kid's strength. If you can't give money to schools to help you grow, get even stronger, then why can you give it to parks? Is that right? Those teachers were so kind. They care. My point is, this is an integrated school where all arts and teachers and kids come together. So help music, sing, and a special music and dance program called Wolfett's Like Fire. Don't destroy it. Thank you very much.
State your name before you speak. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anna, and we go to Wolfett Elementary. Hi, my name is Kylie, and I'm in fourth grade, and I go to Wolfett Elementary School. We both live in Norwalk. Dear Mayor, teachers don't want to leave, and you can make them, but please don't. They love this school and they've been here for years. Dance helps us flex our body. It is a great game. And gym makes us strong and it teaches us to never give up. We need teachers.
State your name before you speak.
My name is Lily. And my name is Mia. We both go to Wolfett Elementary School. Hi, my name is Lily and I'm 10 years old. I'm a student at Wolfett Elementary. Hi, and my name is Mia. I'm 8 years old and I'm in second grade. We are here tonight because we love our school. Wolfett isn't just a building. It's where we learn, laugh, and grow. It's our second home. I love my class and my teacher, Miss Peritelli. She makes school really fun and helps me when I feel stuck. When I found out she won't be at Wolfett next year, I felt really sad. I don't want to lose her. There are so many amazing teachers and programs at Wolfett that make it special. Mr. Conway makes music class one of the best parts of my week. Miss B and Mr. Armitage help us move our bodies, work as a team, and feel proud of ourselves. When we lose teachers, or when classes like music, dance, or PE get taken away, it doesn't feel like the same old school anymore. And Mr. Santinello, our vice principal, is always kind, helpful, and supports everyone. He's a huge part of what makes Wolfett feel like a family. We don't want to lose him either. School should be a place where kids feel excited to learn and create. The music, the arts, our teachers. They help us believe in ourselves and enjoy coming to school every day. We know hard decisions have to be made, but please don't take away the heart of our school. Wolfett is amazing because of these people and programs. Without them, it just won't be the same. Please help us with our Wolfett family together. Thank you for listening.
Don't forget to state your names as you guys come up. Adults, use your name and address, but the kids can just give their name. Jamie Turner, 2 grade. I'm a mom of 2 kids. And
just have one question for the superintendent. I know that your son recently graduated from Tech last year. And I'm wondering if all of these cups would still be on the table if your kids were still at our school.
Currently a student in junior year at Connecticut High School. And I just want to start off by saying my family. My parents, my father is first generation from Queens, New York, and my mother is originally from Stanford. They both worked very, very hard to get to the area where they're in now and to live in Norwalk because they wanted to start their family in Norwalk. And I think that it's just ridiculous that they have to watch and they have to see all these cuts being done and what they wanted just being destroyed. And it's heartbreaking to see their dream being destroyed. I personally love music. I play in the Brian McMahon Band, the jazz ensemble, the winter percussion ensemble, and I also play with the honors principal orchestra. And without these people, there would be nothing, you know? There would be no noise. I mean, you come here to City Hall, we play for you. If I remember, I believe you showed up late or you didn't show up, something like that. I think that's pretty rude, but yeah, that's really heavy meeting, whatever. It's just rude, you know, we come out and we play for you. We want you to see our programs, our growth. And another big reason for this growth that we have is because of the teachers in elementary. Without them, we wouldn't be how we are. They bring us to where we are. My teacher, Mr. Elkins, brought me up to the level that I was, and then it carried on to Mr. Langer, Adam Navany, Miss Ferrari in middle school at Commerce, and they brought me even higher, and they're now in high school, Mr. Secchi, Mr. Rashansky, Miss Murray. They've grown me, they push me, and they bring me higher. And mostly these elementary teachers, without them, you know, there's no start. You need a base. There's a base for everything. In an orchestra, there's a base. In a marching band, there's a base. In a drum corps, there's a base. This stage is a base. If you take this stage away, what do you have? Nothing. You need it. I also think it's ridiculous that we're getting rid of vice principals in elementary schools. My 5th grade teacher, Ms. Herrera, is currently at Brookside. And he's one of the nicest people I know. He's from Brooklyn, you know, he grew up in Norwalk. And just to see them say, oh, he might not go there anymore, he's going somewhere else, it's heartbreaking. To know that such a person that worked that hard to get there is just, they're saying, no, you're done. And I think it's just, but I think it's just responsible. I think that you should fight for the music, and I think that you should make it what it is, and if you get rid of it, it's like a flower. You cut it, and it won't grow back. I think you should keep the music. Don't kill it. Keep it growing.
Tanya Jacoby, 13 Carroll Drive. Good evening. I'm a proud parent of a kindergartner at Wolf Bay, including 2 other small kids that will come up through the Norwalk Public School. I'm here as a very concerned parent to urge the DOE to allocate and address the devastating budget cuts facing our public schools, including multiple positions: music, band, string, gym, assistant principal, dance, and the list goes on for Wolf Bay. Please explain how Wolf stays an integrated art school when you want to eliminate all of these positions. As you know, music is not just a standalone subject at an integrated art school. It is a core component of the school's identity and mission. The removal of these positions sends a troubling message about the value placed on arts education within our school and our district. Music education fosters creativity, discipline, emotional expression, and collaboration. Skills that benefit students in all areas of their academic the members who recognize the importance of a rich and diverse curriculum. After telling my almost 6-year-old daughter that the arts teacher she has loved and learned so much this first year of elementary school could be losing their job, with tears in her eyes, says, "Why would anyone take away these teachers from us?" So I asked, why? Why have you come to this point? These cuts are not abstract numbers. They directly impact our children's learning, their mental health, the sense of stability. At Wolffoot, we're facing the loss of all these staff members, including classroom teachers and critical support roles. These are not extras. They are essential to a safe, supportive, and high-quality educational environment. This moment requires leadership and creativity. Norwalk has the resources and the responsibility to protect our students and our educators. I urge you to allocate these funds properly to prevent irreversible harm to our school, our teachers, the community, and most importantly, our children. Thank you.
Dear Dr. Shreya and members of the Board of Education, my name is Elise Williams, and I live on 24 Midrock Drive. I speak to you today as a deeply concerned Norwalk taxpayer and mother of 2 young children. I've attended many of these meetings this year, so many in fact, I'm starting to get tired of hearing my own voice. I came to my first roundtable back in October, wearing sweatpants and not knowing what to expect, simply hoping to learn more about what's happening in Norwalk education. At that meeting, we worked closely with Dr. Estrella to share our priorities. Our number one concern was clear. It was our teachers. So how did we go from that strong engagement to where we are now, shutting down the preschool program, which hasn't really been mentioned tonight, and laying off 80 teachers, even as a new school is opening? From the NECC closure, where I spoke unscripted, straight from the heart, to today's ongoing budget conversations at Board of Education, Council, and BET meetings, I have shown up, and after all this time, I have to be honest, I feel pretty hopeless. The consistent theme throughout all these meetings has been a glaring lack of transparency between the Board of Education, the superintendent, and Norwalk families. How are we supposed to trust that our children are in good hands when it often feels like more energy is being spent on managing optics than doing what's right for our students? Let's talk about NECC a little. I attended every meeting related to exposure, including the one led by Robert Pennington. Not once was there a clear or honest explanation for why this vital program serving high-need students was dismantled. Parents were left out of the conversation. There was no meaningful discussion on how the transition would affect the children, what busing would look like, or whether appropriate facilities were ready. That meeting was filled with emotions and tears, but there were no real answers. And now we face even more cuts. We continue to support programs introduced by the superintendent, like free school choice. My daughter attends an integrated arts choice school, and I'm genuinely grateful for the opportunities it has given her. But at what cost? What are the busing expenses before and after this program began? Have the class sizes changed? Instead of reassessing which programs are working and identifying efficiencies, we're cutting 80 teachers and slashing the arts, the very thing that makes Norwalk schools special. Some initiatives may have been well-intentioned, but ultimately not right for our district. That's okay, but only if we're willing to recognize that and make adjustments. But what we heard instead is a collective shrug. It is what it is this year. That is just simply not acceptable. Cuts to arts can't be reversed in a single year. Rebuilding these programs will take time, years. So how can we have confidence in leadership that withholds information, avoids tough questions, and shrugs off serious concerns? We, the parents, the taxpayers, and the community members, are not just asking to do better, we are demanding it. Because our kids deserve better, and right now, doing better is the only path forward. We need creativity, we need collaboration. Sit down with the BET, the council, the mayor, work together as a united front. The more minds in the room, the better. But whatever is happening now is not working and it must change. We are all watching, and if you can't come together to find a real solution for our teachers and our children, we will remember that when we vote in November. Thank you.
Board of Education, firstly I want to say thank you for being here and hearing these public comments. I'm also a Norwalk resident and mother of a current Norwalk Public School kindergartner and future MPS students. Like many of us here, I hope that Norwalk Public Schools will be fully funded by our
or saved by our rainy day fund and aided by additional state and federal funding. However, it seems apparent we cannot rely on any additional funding. Therefore, we must use the money at our current disposal to selflessly serve our scholars. The budget crisis should not come as a surprise. We have a grant overseer who should have been aware that COVID funding was expiring and acted proactively to secure new funding sources. The City of Norwalk and Board of Estimate and Taxation has not approved a Board of Ed initial budget request since at least 2023, from what I researched online. We find ourselves very predictably on familiar ground. We are in an economy where all goods and service cost more, and of course that is reflected in our budget. Rather than despair, it is time to clarify priorities. Our children. We must use our budget to support students' classroom learning experience above all else. Wherever possible, I propose we cut redundancy first from our central office and non-student facing staff. If elementary schools must absorb the Norwalk Early Childhood Center, supporting students since 2016, the central office may likely be able to absorb the Norwalk Public School Family Center, opened in 2022. It concerns me that anybody is accepting a pay rise while 124 staff from our 22 combined schools are being laid off. We have 3 communications team members, and it is challenging to research past budgets, the proposed budget breakdown for this year, or know which meetings to attend to actively participate. I've been here since January, but it's my first year as an NPS parent, and I didn't know there were roundtables in September or October where I could express my priorities. What more can we do legally, right? We're supporting arts this evening, so there comes our creativity. Can we explore corporate partnerships, donation matching? If we can organize and raise more capital, where can or will it go? The central office, to our schools, to the PTAs or PTOs? There's not enough creativity or transparency, and we as a community are not given an opportunity to vote on the budget. And we don't have discourse during these meetings. So the only way to make my opinion count is at the ballot box every other year, and it's not enough to build trust. I'm here to support my student and hope you will as well. Thank you.
I don't think I can top any of the conversation related specifically to teachers. I do want to highlight, though, a concerning issue for me as someone who is a father of a Merrimack student, father of a future Merrimack student, maybe even 2. I want to be involved in the community and in the decisions that affect my children. It seems to me, and perhaps it's just me, although from tonight I'm not sure that's the case, that the way that information about these decisions, about the way my city is run, are not being made accessible in a way that is accessible to me as someone who also works. I know there are people who work as well, the same way you all do. That being said, I'm very proud to serve as the clinical director for the Sexual Violence Crisis Center that serves for free victims and survivors of sexual violence who live in many towns, including Norwalk. And it doesn't seem desirable to me that 2 things that are so important to me feel like I can only have one or the other right now. And so I would urge, recognizing that some of you still have several years left in your term, to just realize that you might not be doing it the wrong way, but it isn't working, at least for one resident who is also devoting my time to trying to serve people here who don't have a voice as well. I'm proud to do that. I love doing the work that I do. But I can tell you, if it comes to a choice between continuing to serve in the way that I have, or moving to where my sons can have an education, where I actually feel like I can know when meetings are coming where the public is welcome, where I can see what a budget looks like. As sad as I would be, I would have no question in my mind about which is my priority. Now that being said, there's one person on this board who actually makes me very hopeful that this will be resolved, and that's Jasmine President, who I've had the pleasure of working with for years in a previous job in Stanford. And Jasmine is someone I know has devoted so much of her life to the betterment of children and families. And so I would say, as concerned as I am, part of why I'm still here is because I know who she is, and I know what she stands for, which is not to suggest anything negative about the rest of you. But as long as Jasmine's here, I'm willing to wait and see what happens. But what you all do next really matters to so many of us. So I would just urge you to listen to what's being said today, both about our kids and from someone who has experience with budgets, with boards, with collaboration. The way that this is being made accessible isn't working for me, and I can't be involved in the way that I'd like to be. Thank you very much.
My name is Sarah Alexander, and I reside at 24 Friendly Road. My school community is proudly Wolfpit Integrated Arts Elementary School, which is fearlessly run by our principal, Jacqueline Aarons, and Vice Principal Scott Santinello by her side. A partnership which we are pleading we do not take away because Mr. Santinello is being scheduled to be removed. We as a community elected you and trusted you to work with City Council to protect our schools and our students. And I'm disappointed to witness that that has failed and that trust has been broken. At Wolfpit, we have been told that our beloved music teacher, Sean Conway, will no longer be employed. By his influence, my son has been exposed and challenged to experience new types of music, instruments, performance opportunities, and artists. At the talent show, there were various students that performed various things, and he had kind words to say about every single individual in that performance. And it was clear that he is passionate about his job and about his students, everyone he comes in contact with. Every day outside at pickup, someone else mentioned, rain, snow, sunshine, he's outside with his ukulele to welcome parents at pickup and see off students for another full day. Please don't take him away and refuse others the opportunity to miss the opportunity to be taught by this capable and passionate teacher. My son had challenges in math and special reading early on. He's currently in 2nd grade. My husband and I both have background and careers in the arts at one time. We encouraged him to pursue percussion, which he showed an interest in. With these proposed cuts, he will not have the opportunity to work with Mrs. Lockhart, who all these students speak so highly of when he's at the grade level to participate in band, which may not exist. The proposed cuts combine gym and dance to a single elective, which as a trained dancer, I'm offended by the assumption that these two disciplines should be combined. As a 2nd grader this year, my son had the opportunity to go to Sono Ice House with New York Rangers, a field trip that Mr. Armitage arranged. I had the opportunity to chaperone that day and saw the amazement on the students' faces stepping onto the ice for the first time. I thanked him as we left, and he replied, "I'm just happy so many kids get to be here." He sees the value in a diverse experience and teaches and in turn gets respect from our students. Please don't take him away. Mrs. Karina Valera, our incredible dance teacher, has been working tirelessly to get our dance program to a place which exposes the most types of movement disciplines to our young students in a single room with just Marley and a mirror. At the talent show this year, she spoke after many of her students performed a variety of different dance disciplines, and she commented on how proud she was of all of them, and how happy she was that over the past few years she had been able to grow the program. She is always at the front lines encouraging parents and students and community members to get
any event that is at that school. Please don't take away this incredible arts professional who has so much to offer our students. It is proposed that 2 teachers will be let go of both day. Both first-year teachers, Ms. Samantha Caratelli and Ms. Thank you. I'm almost finished. Both second-grade teachers, and Ms. Caratelli has been my son's teacher this year. She told my son's class this afternoon that she was let go. We let her do that so we didn't have to, because she wanted to speak to her students directly. I asked if he was okay when he came home from school today, and he said no. He said many of his classmates cried.
Thank you.
Today.
We gotta keep it moving. We gotta keep it moving.
Or anyone.
It's not fair to everybody else.
Or anyone is kicking out a cornerstone of these students' stability, which they find every day at Wolf Pit. Please don't take these teachers away, which provide education, but also a stable and welcoming environment to learn. I am almost done. Ms. Bellick, our school counselor, is set to be eliminated as well. This role proved to be so vital to Wolf Pit and its students that when the role was vacated, Mrs. Bellick came out of retirement to ensure that our students are cared for. Please don't take away this necessary role. And in the future, what I would request as a citizen is not just an opportunity to make a public comment. I didn't know those roundtables existed, but an opportunity for a town hall setting. It seems as if, and I think you feel the energy, that a lot of us would like a conversation versus a one-sided comment. So I hope you consider that in the future. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Anderson Aviles, and I'm a student at P-Tech Norwalk. I'm here tonight because I'm concerned about the loss of educators, as well as the education and arts that younger students may come to lose. A student has been in Norwalk Public Schools since preschool, now a graduating senior. I can see that most of the positive influence in my life were my teachers and the words that they have said to me will stick with me probably for the rest of my life. They've inspired me to pursue further education, like college, which I originally was not planning on doing. And without that, I'm almost certain that I wouldn't even be walking the graduating stage this year. Along with those mentors that helped me grow, the classes that I've taken over the years that are music or art related were amazing creative outlets for me that helped me experience and discover new passions that I otherwise would not have access to outside of school. And I'm sure that many other students share my sentiment. School is the place not just for learning your core math and reading skills, which are important, but they should also learn to develop their own culture and your own personality and discover who you are. I don't believe that this is a result of a too small budget, these budget cuts, but rather a mismanaged one. If we can prioritize what the students and teachers believe that we need, not just what the district and Board of Education thinks we need, I hope that this can result in a more favorable outcome for everyone. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elijah Flores. I am a student at P-Tech Norwalk. I graduated with my college degree before high school, and so far I've kind of been in NPS for a short time. I moved here during the peak of COVID, and ever since then, I want to say that all the teachers from my middle school to high school have had a great effect on me. Recently, these past 2 years, I joined the orchestra with Jennifer Burkhalter as our teacher. She's done a wonderful job. And I wish that I had that opportunity sooner rather than later, but the fact that I got to take that opportunity in so late in my high school year was awesome. And to me, the idea that you are taking away that opportunity for students to start early, it's kind of hurtful because my brother, I would love for him to come up here since Norwalk was so promising for me, but it's getting less and less. Another thing is that I feel like you guys already kind of crossed the line that you can't come back from because you already terminated teachers. There's trust that is forever going to be lost, especially since I'm sure a lot of teachers here don't want to follow a leader who just sees them as a pawn to kind of have their own game. You guys cut funding from them just to have your own corporate gain. Dr. Trey, I know you have a 12% increase, which is absurd. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that's something that's been mentioned, and I know your kids, but I feel like if you have to request that and any type of raise in this circumstance, it is due to your own
responsibility, and a lot of you guys are serious, and so I'm sorry, but that's the Senate.
Hello, my name is Henry Rosa, and I think we shouldn't cut any of the teachers because recently we've had Shrek Jr. with Miss Carson, and she put on this wonderful show with just a tiny bit of time. But all of that time went to good use because it ended out being a really, really good show. Because when I'm like talking to my friends, they're like, that was such a good show. So we shouldn't cut any more teachers because we really need them to have a good time. Like, it's very important. I think it's good that we have our teachers because they're really nice and they help us learn. Also, they are nice and they help us learn music styles like rock, funk, and stuff like that. Hello, my name is Isla Casperat. I'm in 7th grade at CMS at Concord Magnet School, and I just want to know why we're going to cut teachers, because we need them, and they help us be creative. Music is creativity, and I don't think there's any other subject that's going to teach you creativity. Like, math is not very creative. Math is just memorizing facts that you probably don't need to use, calculators. I just think that music has really helped me grow in the past years. In 4th grade, I was kind of falling apart, and when the school play was an option, I took it, and I feel like it helped me, organize myself, because I had something to work on and something to actually dedicate myself to. And I want to say thank you to all my music teachers like Miss Murray and Miss Carson and Mr. Rojas and Mr. Vance. And I just want to say that you should not cut them, because if you do, I'm just not going to come back to school.
My name is David McCarthy. I reside at 35 Foxhill Road. I have 2 children at Wolfett Integrated Arts Elementary School, and I'm also a lifelong Norwalker who attended CMS Road in Brian McMahon. I'm appalled at the district's proposed staffing cuts, particularly those that target the arts. Norwalk has always prided itself as a place where the arts thrive. For many years, our marching bands have been among the best in the state, even the country. The All-City Strings program has showcased our school's talents, and the musical theater programs have thrived. Programs like elementary school strings, general music education, and band, which are now target of proposed staffing cuts, existed when my siblings and I attended Norwalk Public Schools in the 1980s. How is it possible that 2025 is the worst financial crisis that this city has ever faced in 40 years, requiring this level of cuts? This simply does not align with the city's growth over those same 4 years. So puzzled by this situation, I dug deeper into the public budget, and what I found is that the general fund has been growing at a rate of 5% per year since 2021, and largely because of all these COVID grants that have burned off. But we always knew that these COVID grants were going to burn off, so why did NPS and the DOE not better plan for a soft landing? Additionally, I was even more puzzled by where NPS is implementing the cuts. Teacher salaries represent one of the 9.7% overall general fund increase requests. In seeking to trim its cuts by the amount not funded by the city, the NPS is focusing so many of its cuts on a line item that is one out of 9.7 9.7% of the budget increase request. It appears that NPS could keep the teacher line item fully funded and stay within the 4% increase that was approved. This mismatch between Norwalk's development as a leading city in Connecticut and these debilitating staffing cuts that our schools face, plus the heavy focus on arts and first-year teachers, can only be the result of misplaced priorities. An improving city and improving schools must go hand in hand. We have one last opportunity tonight to straighten this out before we shoot ourselves in the foot. I prevail upon you to pause the proposed staffing cuts, to ensure that the cuts are properly placed, and to give our elected leaders time to sort this out. I also ask you to pause voting on a 3-year contract extension for Dr. Estrella. This is not the right time to plan for the future. Rather, we need to be unwaveringly focused on repairing the present. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is John Chichi, at 5 Redwood Road. I have 2 children that attend Wolf Pit Integrated Arts. Wolf Pit isn't just any school, it's a place where the arts are not an afterthought. They're central to the curriculum. The programs at Wolf Pit help students express themselves, build confidence, and connect to learning in powerful, creative ways. Cutting staff at an integrated art school like Wolf Pit threatens the very identity of the school and robs students of a well-rounded education. These proposed cuts will lead to a reduction in force, a term that may sound bureaucratic, but has very real and painful consequences. Due to RIF, Wolf Pit could potentially lose our beloved music teacher, dance teacher, gym teacher, and our assistant principal, whose leadership has helped move the school forward in recent years. This is in addition to losing amazing support staff and classroom teachers that will have a negative impact on class size. These are not just staff members. They are the heartbeat of our school and essential to Wolf Pit's identity as an integrated art school. Their collective impact was on full display during this year's student production of The Lion King Kids, which brought families together and highlighted what a well-supported arts program can achieve. Losing them would deal a devastating blow to our school's culture, accreditation, and our children's educational experience. We need more than statements of support. We need action. Due to mismanagement and poor planning, we are here today. I ask you all to work hand in hand with Senator Duff, who has made clear he does not support these cuts, to secure additional funding from the state level. Our community deserves every possible effort to preserve staff and programs before permanent damage is done. Our children deserve access to the arts, to consistency, and to the trusted adults who make their school's days meaningful. Let's do everything to protect that. I respectfully request 2 things from you. Delay any vote to extend Dr. Estrella's contract until this crisis is addressed. The community deserves transparency and trust before long-term leadership decisions are made. Work creatively to find alternative funding through city partnerships, the mayor's office, Senator Duff, or other means to minimize disruption to Wolf Pit staff and arts curriculum. Please don't let our kids lose beloved teachers and programs that make Wolf Pit feel like a second home. Thank you.
Before I hand over the microphone to my very eager and very exhausted daughter, I would like to request, Mr. Mayor, if you would have our common council members also listen to all of the commentary that's been provided tonight, because we know that they're setting the budget, as well as the Board of Estimate and Taxation that is setting the cap. And I think that they also need to hear all the voices that have been shared tonight. If I can sit here for 4 hours with a 6-year-old waiting her turn, I think they can listen to the comments.
Good evening. My name is Adeline Stewart, and I will be telling about our music teacher in CMS. Miss Carson, her name is Miss Carson. Miss Carson is important
cornerstone of the school community, and I know everyone recognizes how popular and integral he has become to the school. She is so proud to be learning ukulele as well as violin with Miss Shields, and I think it's amazing for her to have the opportunity to learn so many instruments as only a kindergartner. Mr. Conway, as well as Miss B for dance and Mrs. Shields for strings, are teacher artists who show students that learning music can increase their self-confidence, their attention and focus, give them a way to express themselves and uplift them. How is this school supposed to uphold its name as a magnet school and for the integrated arts no less, when so much of that is taught? Furthermore, while I chose this school, I considered sending my daughter to a private school until I learned about the magnet schools and how amazing they are. Don't encourage people to choose other towns and private schools instead of Norwalk. While I chose this school through the lottery and miraculously got in because I knew music and art were two of my daughter's passions, I also chose it because I know learning these subjects increases academic performance and helps students to thrive in all areas of their life. This is what I want for my daughter. I don't understand how parents are supposed to trust in the lottery system, which is supposed to be an exciting, great thing for parents, or feel satisfied when their choice school ends up losing a lot of what made us choose it in the first place. Don't get me wrong, I love the school for many, many reasons, but to cut out so much of what makes the school unique and special, what gets it written up in newspapers, and what makes it an incredible school seems heartless and absurd. I also want to speak for a minute about Dr. Estrella. I've heard her claim to be all for the arts and all for music education, especially at the last Board of Ed meeting and in emails given back to me and my husband. However, it makes no sense to me that while the schools are getting an increase in funding year after year, no matter how small, they are having to cut positions left and right. How can she say she's for music education and then approve cutting music education? Where is the money going? Reconsider these cuts or find money elsewhere. If she truly believed in supporting our schools and our music education, as well as minimizing the damage of budget cuts, she would find a way to have more on her end before asking schools to do the same. Find a way to save what is integral to the students' learning in the most effective way. I strongly hope that you can see that none of the parents, because I've not heard of one who does, support renewing her contract. I hope you enter her employment because you realize that she talks the talk but does not walk the walk.
Hi, I'm Nancy, 31 King Street. So first of all, thank you to everybody who's still here. It is a literal hardship to be here at 11 o'clock at night, and it's amazing that you guys are all still here, so thank you. From a personal anecdote standpoint, I'm a mom. I have two daughters at Norwalk Elementary School, one of which has had a lot of time with the literacy coach and the math coach that are being eliminated. And it's because of those coaches that my daughter stopped saying that she wasn't as smart as her friends, or that she didn't want to go to school because she was embarrassed that she couldn't get things the way that her friends could get them. And I saw firsthand how those coaches changed her whole life in just 1 year. So the fact that she won't have that option next year, or all of the kids who don't even have English-speaking parents at Norwalk, what are they going to do for their kids? And so it's the most vulnerable population that's going to suffer the most. So from a more practical standpoint, revenue comes from increased property taxes or higher value properties, higher earning citizens who are not going to come here because we don't have the schools that our neighboring towns have, which makes no sense for the city of Norwalk. We are better positioned geographically than Westport or Fairfield or Weston or Wilton for commuters, and they don't pick us because we don't have the schools. As parents, we all know, number one priority, our children. So this, to me, is so short-sighted.
support staff, the teachers, they would take a literal bullet for our students if they needed to. Give them what they need. It's that simple. Every morning I have to provide, and any one of these people take the bullet from our children. And they might have to in our country. In Connecticut, they already have had to do that. So prioritize the needs of the education of our children because it's important for everybody in the city. Thank you.
Hi everybody, people are leaving. My name is Lori Cowan, I live at 5 Margaret Street. This is embarrassing. How sad that we have to be here at 11 o'clock at night trying force to communicate messages that we trusted were being communicated and worked on amongst the board this whole time. Difficult decisions have to be made all the time, not just on a difficult night when it's a little uncomfortable. I could spend my minutes talking about the immense importance of the arts, of listening, reflecting, and attunement to others, which I think we're doing a pretty good job tonight, all things considered. I could talk about investing in our children as future citizens. I could use words like mismanagement, misallocated, miscommunication, misaligned, misguided, misused. I could talk about cutting dance education at a time, dance education which promotes body awareness, self-confidence, at a time when social media perils are rampant and young boys and girls do not love their bodies, but they do it with the with a ukulele that just got auctioned out, by the way, in school auction, because that's how valuable it is. I could talk about cutting music as a gimmick, because leadership knew it would bring this kind of response. And then we get this kind of attention, we get bailed out by the state or by the mayor. But what about all the other things? What about all the other things that are slipped in there? I want to bring everyone to the attention that the decision to move this meeting tonight to this room cost $0. It cost us $0 and 22 minutes. But we asked about this a few days ago. We said there's going to be a lot of people, but no, it was refused. It required listening, reflection, collaboration with staff, creative problem solving, thank you. I heard a lot of excuses. It created foresight and planning. It cost $0. That's the problem with the budget. What costs $0? Creative thinking, making tough decisions. We know what is happening on stage and backstage. We're all in the arts, we get it. Backstage is a breakdown between the levels of government, this local board, communication. We shouldn't have to learn about things through social media between our leaders. This board needs to make a tough decision about renewing Dr. Estrada's contract and about this budget. Please make a good decision as an independent, individual person who was elected by the city and not by somebody who may have become swayed or persuaded over the last several years for those of you who have given your time. Thank you for serving on the board. To those of you who are leaving, I can understand why. I'm sorry you have to leave, but I'm looking forward to 4 new voices this fall and more people to represent. When you do want to extend your contract, I pray that it's in public and not behind closed doors in the summer on a Tuesday night. Please visualize hundreds of people here who have tasked you with this job tonight. The fact that you wanted to have this meeting in that room upstairs is the most irritating thing that I have heard tonight. Because that's all of it tonight.
I'm at 139 Dry Hill Road, and that statement she just made about the meeting being a small room, when you knew ahead of time this was not going to be a little meeting. You knew that, okay? So just sit with that. I'm a mother. My daughter's here. She's in 6th grade. She's at West Fox. I went to this school system. I grew up in Norwalk. I'm proud of that. My parents are both from Columbia. not a word of English. I speak 2 languages. My daughter speaks 2 languages. Thankfully, we have these schools that support these amazing things. My daughter is not into sports as much as I wish she would be, because I am more athletic. She knows that. What does she love? She loves the arts. She loves singing. She loves creating. She's in a muralist club. She was in Shrek at West Rocks. What is the message you're sending her right now? Think about that. Each one of you up there. What's the message? She's here. She's listening. Tell her. You don't have to tell her. Silence speaks louder than words. I'm here for my community. I'm also here because there's a lot of irony. You know what? Walking down those halls, I see artwork of students from Norwalk decorating your building that you work in, that you so proudly can say, this is where I work. Right? What message are you sending these students? We're going to use your artwork. We're going to decorate. And we're not going to support you. Okay? Think about that. Our Norwalk community is beautiful. Why? Because of the arts. We have beautiful murals that were just made. We have beautiful artwork on our streets. We are so prideful in that. We take pride in that. Why aren't we doing this for our students? You can paint all you want, you can paint on the walls, but what are you teaching your kids? Think about that. If you woke up one day and said you can't listen to music anymore, how would you feel? How about if they told you, no, you can't look at anything, any art, you can't go to the museum, no, you can't do that. How would you feel? Take the art out of your house, how would you feel? Take the music out of your car, your phones, and everything that you do every single day. Tell me how you would feel. Art and music is a feeling. It's a way to express. You all are up here because you had art and you had music. You were able to be creative. You were a child one day. What is your inner child telling you right now? What does your 11-year-old self say? Your kindergarten self say? Is it proud of you?
Francis Avenue. I currently and have my whole life been blessed that I've been living in music. I'm going to read you something, not my words. I've learned a lot tonight from listening to the administrators, listening to the teachers, and more, listening to these little children speak of one I grew up in the city of Norwalk, and this will hopefully mean something to you. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I mean all of this from my heart. It's been my whole life, from 5 years old. I look at 11 people. I see you all. I believe your hearts and thoughts are for the good of these children. You have to hear their voices. Please. I hear kids talking. I hear these great teachers, Mr. Rojas, Miss Lockhart, and I hear their voices. These are dedicated people. I went to Brookside School, this was a lot of years ago. I went to middle school at Benjamin Franklin. It was 1965. It's the first program that I had in school. And I met a music teacher who played piano. And that person became the supervisor of music in later years in this town, Joe Mola. And he took 5 of us into his room and said, you have to come and play with us, you know. And I went through Brian McMahon. I have played drums in 12 years of professional theater. I backed up actors. I remember and can tell you every show that I played at Brian McMahon High School. I can name, just like these teachers someday will be, I can name you 7th grade, Mr. Wilk. I can name you Brian McMahon and Mr. Roos, the orchestra teacher, Mr. Klaus, the chorus teacher, the orchestra teacher, Miss Draper. This has allowed me to make a living. When I went to the school, I learned everything. Music is there. I have been around the world. I can go and have been in studios in New York where I can sit there and see one piece of music and read it once. I got that from Brian McMahon and all those other schools. Please hear these kids. Please hear the teachers. I appeal to your hearts. You're good people. I hope that I'm effective enough that you see it in my heart and what it has done for me. I've played with people all over the world who I never met, and I have recorded and played with people who I never thought I would ever meet in my whole life. Norwalk Public Schools. Norwalk Schools. Thank you. Please admit the children, the administrators that spoke tonight, and the school teachers, and just education in general. When I speak from what I do still today, please believe in music and believe, and you're the ones that can offer these kids a future. These kids might be playing in the New York Philharmonic. They might be playing at the Nutcracker Ballet at the Met. They might be playing or they might be dancing at the ballet. Please believe in these children. Thank you.
I'm also a junior at Harvard High School, as well as the conducting drum major for the United Marching Band for the 2024 fall season. As many of you know, we just celebrated an undefeated season, first place in every competition, as well as winning 2 vocal class, which is a very, very big achievement for our school. Our program relies on elementary music education, because when it starts there, it continues to grow. Think of starting music education in middle school as planting a pumpkin patch too late in the season. You won't get the crop that you need. For our success and for our programs to be successful, we need these type of arts programs to be instilled from the get-go. Not only from it just being art, because music also speaks to something deeper inside us. Music helps to promote intercultural understanding, social emotional learning, and responsibility. Responsibility being one of the biggest. In the words of the American poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, music is a language that we can all understand. First is music and the arts, but I worry about what's next. As in addition to being the drum major for the marching band, I'm also the treasurer for the band Post Club and the Healthcare Academy. We do not have the funds. The money for the science program has been not there. We have chemistry teachers using materials that are 20 plus years old, buying chemicals out of their pockets that we need for certain experiments and for certain labs. We're all wondering where the money's going, right? In the words of the 1984 Wendy's ad, where's the beef? In short, music and music education, whether a child wants to pursue music in elementary and middle school, should be the choice of the child, not the board who decides if they don't want to.
My name is Barry Sal. I reside at 96 Days Lane. I also happen to be a music teacher at the town over, and I'm also a conductor at the Norwalk Public. I just want to point out to everybody that the room over there in this very building is named the Mary McCarthy Room, after a beloved music teacher in the city of Norwalk. This also happens to be the town where the legendary Jeff Smith was the band director for the and is also currently the home of two world-class music programs at Brian McMahon High School and Norwalk High School. Those programs don't get to be where they're at without a well-funded and well-supported elementary music program, as the former speaker just acknowledged. Right? And when I had found out that these cuts were happening, I was incredulous, because as someone who did not grow up in Norwalk, Norwalk was famous for their arts programs. It was revered across the state, across many states, right? And to hear that this is happening in the city of Norwalk it's hard to even process, right? After listening to all the speakers tonight, I think the only reasonable conclusion is that we must fully fund the music and arts programs. And I really hope we put a pause on this contract negotiation for our superintendent. I think it's helpful to our school district to have a superintendent that is, supportive of music and arts programs. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. My name is Marlene Bellis, and I live at 2 Gilbert Street, and I'm the parent of a junior at our high school. And my friend Beatrice is also the parent of a junior at our high school. And I'm here to ask, to plead, to advocate for restoring I believe it's 130 staff positions that might be eliminated from Norwalk Public Schools. So I'm here to advocate for the restoration of those positions, and also specifically Norwalk High School positions, which include, if I understand correctly, 2 math teachers, 1 multi-language learner teacher, 3 world language teachers, 1 science teacher, 1 business teacher, 1 workforce education teacher, 2 art teachers, and 1 PE and health teacher. I want to say that I love Norwalk High School. I love Norwalk Public Schools. My experience here as a parent has just been amazing. I feel that my child is very well cared for and inspired. The teachers are inspiring, dedicated, and very protective of the children. And I wanted to just reflect on the month of May and what I experienced with Norwalk Public Schools in May 2025. The Halo Award-winning, statewide Halo Award-winning SpongeBob musical, and it integrated different aspects of the arts. For example, of course, theater, vocal, instruments, and visual arts with the scenery and the props. I also wanted to talk about the concerts, both vocal and instrumental, the magnificent concerts. I wanted to talk about the magnificent district-wide art show. I want to talk about the Memorial Day Parade, where much of Norwalk Schools was featured in that parade, much of the arts. And I also wanted to talk about the magnificent Norwalk High School art show. And it was a privilege to see and witness all of this. And now I'm going to digress for a second and talk about an alum of Norwalk Public Schools. He's an artist. He goes by 5 Fingers, and he works in a lot of schools. He works with the kids. He has a studio in South Norwalk and a summer camp. And he came and spoke to some of the children where I work, and he talked about the influence of his Norwalk Public Schools teachers, starting with his kindergarten
art teacher and his art teachers throughout his school career, including a Ms. Quinnen from Norwalk High School. I heard somebody else mention her. And somebody like that who's an alum of Norwalk Public Schools and gives back to the community, that is what Norwalk is about. I feel that this community has built a jewel.
I'm sorry,
Thank you. Please preserve what was built. Thank you.
Hi, Eric Weaver, 36 Penn Road. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. I've been on 4 SGCs, multiple PTOs, currently in the PTO. I think I have to take over the presidency of the PTO next year. I've got one more year of my kids in Norwalk Public Schools, so I don't actually have an interest in this fight. So I'm going to speak without self-interest. I know a lot of people, you have special interest groups, etc. I started over a decade ago, before the mayor was mayor, many superintendents before Dr. Estrella, before all of you Board of Ed members. I came to meetings. I had private meetings with Dr. Adamowski, superintendents before him. I've been in the schools. You may not have seen me recently because I now devote 99% of my efforts in the schools. I'm in the schools weekly. My wife's in the schools almost daily. She's been PTO president of one on the board. She had someone who had to leave with her younger one that didn't even have a kid in the school that had a volunteer on the board. We are deeply involved. I was born and raised in Norwalk. I went through Norwalk Public Schools. My wife also went through born and raised in Norwalk, etc. Since over a decade ago, I always asked for TAP. Transparency, accountability, communication, collaboration. That's what I've always asked for. I've tried to work with everybody. I've had meetings with Dr. Estrella when we had some specific issues that we had to talk about, some concerns, etc. Also, when I was a student, I'm trying to keep it PG, I was a schmuck student. I did not like learning in a traditional setting. Fortunately, I was very, very smart. I could get A's with doing very little effort. The only thing that kept me focused in school was sports, junior ROTC, and girls. I wasn't very good at girls until I met my wife. She chased me. Sorry, babe. I was very good at junior ROTC. Okay. The reason I'm saying that is I was not into music, I wasn't into art. Those things are extremely important, right? Because you need to have students who are not typical learners have something to motivate them to come to school, right? For me, it was sports. In junior ROTC, I always thought I was going to go into the military. I served in the Connecticut Army National Guard, didn't go full service. But we need those programs. And we know whether it's special education, whether it's arts, those are the things that make kids want to learn, and it has to start in elementary school. When I was advocating over a decade ago for special education in Norwalk, it was a disaster. I won't get into my personal history on it, but me and the district were not friends, let me put it that way. And I can't speak more about it for obvious reasons.
I need you to wrap up.
Yeah, but it's gotten better. And I think people don't appreciate that it's so much better than it was when I went to Norwalk. But oh yeah, I was 70s, 80s, into the 90s. It's much better now. Much better. And in fact, Polish Ridge Steam Academy, I went there.
Sir, I need you to wrap up.
Yeah.
Please, it's getting late.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to say it is very important to fund. I know it's a multifaceted issue. I appreciate everything that you guys do, especially the volunteers. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Julie McNulty, 15 South Central Avenue. I'm actually not speaking on behalf of myself, but on behalf of my daughter. She's been on the call since it started. She's actually currently a student at the University of Melbourne in Australia, and she's been up for hours and it's fine to speak there. So she wanted to speak, but I don't think by Zoom they're going to get the opportunity, so I came down to speak for her. This is her statement. Hello, my name is Ellen McNulty. I'm a resident at 15 Sun Central Avenue, and I'm here to advocate for the preservation
School Strings program when I was in 3rd grade. I had minimal music training and took music lessons exclusively through Norwalk Public Schools, going on to play in Norwalk High's principal orchestra. Today, I am completing a course in musical composition at the Victorian College of the Arts, the #1 music school in Australia. The positive effects of music education have been identified time and time again. Numerous studies show that elementary age children show advantage and improvement in hand-eye coordination, logical reasoning, verbal intelligence, planning, inhibition, and working memory if you do the research. This does not include the social and emotional benefits and soft skills I have personally observed in myself and my peers, such as confidence, discipline, professionalism, and teamwork, just to name a few. We are still discovering the full range of advantages music lessons have for children, but their academic and developmental impact cannot be understated, as well as the importance of capitalizing on this early. Research finds a correlation between how early a student begins learning an instrument and the later level of performance. To take away our students' earliest opportunities to learn an instrument would reduce their potential for growth and achievement in the program. I studied these effects during the music psychology class I took this year at PCA. I was able to study at PCA based on my scores from the AP Music Theory exam. I was able to take AP Theory due to my musical ability, and I attributed that ability to developing a fluency in music as early as age 8. Those 3rd grade music lessons opened up my path to academic achievement and fulfillment. Without them, I cannot say I'd be able to pursue this passion, particularly at the university. Who are we as a school district to take away paths for academic achievement from the students we serve? Who are we to take away their ability to pursue their passions? I acknowledge the existence of extracurricular programs and private lessons that also create these pathways. However, the fact is that these opportunities are not easily or even at all accessible for many of the families in our community. Classical music and its training has historically been extremely difficult to access for lower-income individuals. For many students in our community, these programs are their only opportunity to learn an instrument.
Thank you.
To take the chance away from potential and aspiring musicians.
Your time is up. Thank you. Ms. Blake, you have 2 more people that need to speak.
I urge us all to think about the students this decision impacts the most and the scope of these opportunities that we are taking away. The importance of the arts cannot be understated. Their benefits are near immeasurable, and all children should have fair and equal access to them. Thank you.
My name is Nicole Jean. I've been a teacher, a music teacher. I'm a piano teacher at Prescott Middle School. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'm the Norwalk Teacher of the Year. I'm sure we're all feeling exhausted and emotional. This has been an incredible night. The speaker before said, we will not remember this night. I will never forget this night. And I'm so thankful that so many people came out here to fill the halls and to speak up about the importance of music in our lives. I went to Tracy School, I went to West Ross, I went to Norwalk High School. I heard multiple people stand up here and talk about our late teacher, Jeff Smith. I spoke about him on convocation because he really changed my life and set me on a path where I felt like I could make music my career. I'm not the only Norwalk alum who is making a living with music. This is such an important part of our lives. So many people said so many important things, but nobody mentioned my friend from Tracy School, Mr. Josue Ramirez. He was so frazzled, and he did it anyway to put our school system on the map in Hartford, Connecticut, as a leader across the state. He is an inspiration to me. I speak to him on a regular basis. When we started to do these citywide celebrations and we had chances to show off our skills. I was so excited to follow his lead. We haven't heard enough tonight. It's 4 hours later, but this is the first time we've heard someone say, Mr. Ramirez, we love you! I heard a little girl say, I'm sad and mad, and I'm sad and mad too. I love teaching here. The last time I came to this place, we had a beautiful concert here. The restaurants and the whole band is a big stand. And the big part of it is because Mr. Ramirez plays to see where people love music and they want to keep going with it. Please find a way to keep it. We need it. This is a major part of our town's, our city's legacy. Dr. Estrella, I was so honored and excited when I first met you. I was fangirling and saying, let me tell you all about band. I still feel that way now. Please find a way to keep it. This is such an important part. It's a part of our school system's logo. I heard Mike Vermouth say the crown jewel, music. That's what's on our logo. I just can't tell you enough how important it is to see all these people, and I guess we'll have to keep coming back. They always fill up our auditoriums when we have performances. We have a lot of love here in the city for music. Please find a way to keep it. Please find a way to keep it. And keep our incredible educators, because the morale falls when this happens. I hate for my kid's favorite teacher to lose. I hear you, but I thank for the chance to speak. Didn't imagine it would take this long, but please find a way to
Well, I will not be the most eloquent speaker tonight. That was incredible. But I do have an incoming kindergartner that'll be starting in fourth grade. And we did all the tours, we looked at all the different choices, because that's something that's offered. And it just seemed like the best fit for our son. And it's just because of all the incredible people that we met. And I come to learn tonight that these people might not be there. And it kind of feels like the rug is being pulled out from under us before we've even started this. And I hope that's not a sign of things to come, but it does make me nervous. And seeing all these people here tonight that's the reason I had to speak up. Like a speaker, like 5 speakers before, basically said, he didn't have a dog in the fight. Well, how can I not get it when my son's going to be starting at school? So I just want to say, please don't cut these programs. Please don't cut these programs. Please don't cut these programs.
and wonder that I call the Norwalk Public School system. The rock stars at Parkland Elementary School prepared my son Dylan for Nathan Hill, and those teachers transitioned him to Norwalk High School. And today he finished his sophomore year at Roger Williams University. My daughter, after her kindergarten year at Marvin, I transferred her to CMS. And I'll never forget how hard that meeting was. I cried and I cried, partly out of guilt, and mostly out of my healthy fear of the awesome principal swallowing shade. She knows I love her, so I can say that. At CMS, my child thrived. She's completing her freshman year at Norwalk High School, and my youngest will be an 11th grader. I owe their development to the creative and fearless teachers at CMS. My children are who they are because they received an education on par with their friends who attend schools in Richfield, Darien, Westport, Buchanan, Greenwich, Madison, and Chilton. The children who live in those towns are exposed to the finer things in life. But not only am I the parent, I'm also the proud principal at Concord Public Schools. Are offered the best that life has to offer. We are all dedicated. We must move heaven and earth to continue providing our most precious assets what they deserve the most. Let's do what we can to save these crucial positions, especially our special ed administrators who work hard and who work hand in hand with our building staff to provide our most vulnerable students the chance for an equitable education. And the guidance counselor who I had to cut. Guidance counselor that my child really relied on last year when my family struggled mightily. But no matter what happens, no matter the outcome, I pledge my heart and soul to continue working tirelessly with my dedicated principal colleagues and my dedicated central office colleagues and my passionate parents to give the students, my babies, the education befitting the royalty that they are. So, let's leverage the gains that we have made together to have Norwalk Public Schools continue being a place I'm proud to serve as principal, Mr. T, and as a parent and a dad. Thank you.
That concludes public comments. Thank you, everyone. In order to respect everyone that's on the line that we're not going to be able to hear tonight because of technical issues, I need a motion, and I would like a motion to table the approval of FY26 operating budget reconciliation for a week. Thank you. Seconded by Mary Ellen. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. We'll take a 5-minute break for a second.
Already you are in my program, okay? You are harmful
respect those online that couldn't speak. We are moving that part of the meeting and the vote until next week. And for those of you watching online, please use the same logins as you've already been put in the record as speakers and speak. And also, because of laws and regulations, we have to be out of City Hall by midnight because it's considered another day. So I would like a motion to move the rest of the meeting to that same special meeting next week.
No, in person. But hybrid again, as it is, in person and online.
Maybe in this room and not upstairs.
So motion to approve? Howard, seconded by Mary Ellen, all in favor? Thank you. We'll let you know the time when we look at the schedule and we're ready to go.